And welcome, members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. How's everybody doing this evening? For those who follow here on YouTube, those who follow Spiritual Encrypted Encounters on Facebook, and those who follow my show real TikToks under Abe Sias. Let me share to some groups real quick before we continue. I'll be right back.
Tonight, he must have completed building his latest invention. What do you invent this time? A new kind of powerful ray called a mismo. And look, someone's coming. Oh, get off the car!
It turned off the signal.
No, I moved it.
Oh, the channel?
Yeah, the battery.
Oh,
Into
para que se escuche puro
hello,
que
hello. Do y'all see me? I lost y'all there for a little bit.
me,
Send a couple of invites to some of the groups.
le cambió el ese, se cortó el ese. Ahora sí está oscuro. Así.
Oh shoot!
Bueno, le puse le piqué, no sé. Le cambió el, oh, ahí está.
That's fine. You could have it on a little bit, I guess. How you doing this evening? There's cousin Jesse.
Hi, Jess.
I know there's been a lot of people that's been requesting me to bring you on here because I want to hear your point of view of Elms Grove. But of course, I've said a lot of stories dealing with back home, and I wasn't the only one that was living in that house when a lot of things were happening. My brother and sisters were around there too when certain things would happen. So she can enlighten you of all of the stories, encounters that of witnessed that we've been through. They've been there too because I had three brothers and three sisters. So she's witnessed a lot of things. I don't know if we should just start from stories from back when we were growing up all the way to Elms Grove. I know people want to know about Elms Grove, but I think you know they want to listen to your perspective of the things of the balance. We got real MMA, Sister Rita. This is my sister, Bea
Hi,
B.
Rita.
Bea Sias Tamez. Uh, people
Going
wanted
up.
to hear her point of view of things, and I brought her on for the subscribers here of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Tell us a
Going
little bit
straight
about yourself,
up.
sis. Of you know,
Huh?
tell us a little bit about yourself.
About myself. Mm,
Yeah, I mean, people want to know certain things. I mean, whatever you want to speak about. Things like introduce yourself to the audience, I guess.
I am Bea. I'm Abram's younger sister. Um, and I told you this. Um, and I've experienced like a lot of stuff that he's experienced. Um, way back then, from growing up when I was younger until now, actually.
So,
Um,
what are some of the things that you experienced that you remember from our childhood? I know we witnessed a lot of things, but from your perspective, what are some of the things that you remember? Uh,
that I remember,
the things
like
happening that you
like that,
remember.
that, that I remember, like what you were saying about the kids running around the house so fast, and Jennifer, and I remember the bangings on the wall outside. and I remember the running. Somebody would run on the outside and on the roof. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I remember when I had my second, I think Chris.
But I'm talking
Um,
about back home. What do
yeah,
you
back
remember
home
else? Yeah, that's what we're
or in
talking
Elms
about.
Grove. In
Yeah,
Elms
well,
Grove.
we want to talk about home when we were growing up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I was
Yeah.
growing up, from back
What else would you
back then.
hear? Like los árboles, las
Yeah,
brujas.
and I would see that the truths. There was but they were huge. They were huge. I would see. I remember seeing in the window red eyes. That it was like the blinds. It was like way on top of the blinds, and you know that the windows were real high there at the house. But there was red eyes looking in.
So I remember the day you were scared and you saying that something was looking at you through the window and that window was pretty tall.
Blind.
So how
Yes,
big were the red eyes that you seen?
they were big. They were big. They were just looking, and I mean,
Did you see
there's
a
no way.
shape or a figure?
Oh, because they were looking through the blind, and the blind was a little bit open. I could see the red eyes, and I got scared. Yeah, and I grabbed the kids, and I went and I went to the other room, and I told the kids, yeah, yeah, and I remember seeing mom all the time there. I would see her all the time.
Or spirit?
She saw the spirit. It sometimes it was it wasn't. I want to say it wasn't like it was her, but then like you would look at her face and you could tell that it was something bad.
So
No,
you could see right through the disguise or the manifestation, like it wasn't her, like it was something
it was something bad.
unclean or demonic that was
Yes,
manifesting to take her form.
yes, and
Do you remember the sounds that they will make from the trees when we were growing up? That they'll be laughing and stuff,
yeah,
and the sounds with
it sounded
the
like knives.
yeah,
Yeah, like
but
knives,
it's a
like
claws that they will
yeah,
go.
yeah. I remember that one night. I remember seeing that dog with the red eyes and the tail standing up.
Where'd you see that at?
I was outside. I remember seeing that man all dressed in black with a top hat.
In Rimmerville?
Yes, but I would see him, and he would come to my dreams. That I would always see him too. I saw him at the cemetery that one day, and I went to go see mom. Um, I was cleaning the grave, and it was the sky was all clear. There was no clouds, no nothing, and then all of a sudden, it just all the clouds and the wind started picking up, and it's like just right on top of me. The clouds were right there on top of me. It was dark, and I felt somebody staring at me, and I turned, and he was there. He was there,
It was a Men in
and
Black.
it was the man in the black suit with a top hat and a cane, and that black dog with the tail sticking up. Yeah,
How did the man have? Did he have any? His eyes look any different, or
I
he look?
really, I
He
really
was just
couldn't.
dressed like in a different time zone,
Yeah,
like the old
from
ways
back
of
then.
dressing
Yeah, from back then. Yeah,
with the top hats and the canes.
yeah. And
And
I couldn't
what happened when you seen him? Did he
read.
just disappear, or
Just standing there, just looking at me. And there was no cars or nothing in there. And and the wind was picking up and stuff like really it was really bad. It started like blowing real hard and the clouds were just right there. And it was a clear day. So I got in the car and I left. And once I passed the cemetery, it was clear again. Yeah.
so definitely some negative forces over there. I
Yeah.
know that when we grew up, there was a lot of witchcraft and necromancy, a lot of witches and warlocks.
And, yeah. You could
As
hear.
people don't understand how bad it was over there when we were growing up. What else did you see that you witnessed that was out of the ordinary?
I remember that one time, well, when I used to mess with the Ouija board, I remember that one time I would always play with it, and then that guy came. That guy came that we
Tell
thought
them
it was
about
him.
the time you were at the dirt road. What was the Ouija board telling you? Well, tell her. Well, first of all, tell them how where you bought it at.
Well, no, it was just we had gone, and it was just friends that got together, and we were just started
The
playing
Ouija
with it.
board. Where did you get it from? The Ouija board.
It was
Benita's.
one of my friends. I don't know.
Benita.
I don't remember. It
I
was
thought
somebody.
Benita had a garage sale and you got it from her.
No, it was somebody else's, but they didn't want to take it home because they got scared. So I brought it home. You know, because I said it's not even real. It's not even it's bull, and I would mess with it all the time.
So tell them about the time you were messing with it at the dirt road. What it said
I don't even remember what it
when
said.
you were
I
with your
remember I
friends.
told I remember I
Yeah.
told you that I don't remember. I don't remember. It was such a long time ago. But I know
That you're
I think it's
you're
something
playing
that there
that
was
you're
it
playing
was
with it at the dirt road and that it said my name.
yeah, and that it was gonna come get you. That it was in that last room in the attic. I think right. And I had told you not to go over there or whatever. But
And
I
I
think
did.
that's what it said. Yeah. And then you said there was something there.
You, because I remember you had told me what he had told you and something about a cassette or something, right? So or something up there, and I said, okay, I'm just gonna go see and investigate, and up there with a flashlight in the attic, and then you come running inside the house. What'd you tell me
Huh?
when you come running inside the house? What did you tell me? I'm in the attic.
Yeah. I told him to get out of there
It's like how did you know that I was up there?
because they had told me.
The Ouija board told you that he was gonna go get me up there.
Hmm. Yeah.
You don't remember the day that I burned the Ouija board? That it's like your hair was over your face or nothing like that, do you?
No, I don't remember.
Because it was like
I,
moving by itself and everything. It's the day
yeah, I
that I
think
got rid of it, that I burned it.
I tried to
It's
burn it.
like,
I didn't want to burn.
I mean, you were punching me in the face and scratching me and all kinds of stuff. And
I
I
don't
think
remember.
Lupita was there and she grabbed you, and I think
She
Robert grabbed you.
wasn't there. I think she was married. I think she was married already. But I
Somebody
don't.
was there
I
that
don't.
grabbed you.
I don't remember. Probably Robert. I don't remember.
And I burned it. I burned the Ouija board. Tell them about the incidences of when I was outside and what you seen.
Martin Kafka.
Yeah, tell them the story.
Oh. There was this guy that we knew, what that I knew that he would go. Well, my brother knew him too. Um, he would go like to the ladies across the street, and I had met him there a few times. And I was inside, and my brother was outside with a couple of friends of his talking, and he stopped by to talk to him. And I came outside, and I went over there where they were at, and he was like my brother pushed me, like he elbowed me to go back inside. And the girls, they were all laughing and stuff. That when that guy was just kept on looking at them, and they just stopped laughing, and they were just looking at him. They wouldn't even talk or anything. And he was talking about well, of course, he was telling my brother for him to take the wrong path, and he knew what the path was, and it was basically talking about the devil, you know. And then my brother was, praying, like talking about God and stuff, and then I started talking about God and stuff, and there was a car. He was getting mad, you know, and a car was coming by, and he like tried to hide his face, and you could see holes in his face, you could see holes in his face, and we kept on talking about God, and then he said, "I'm gonna take one of these tonight, or one of the girls or whatever." one of the girls who was gonna take them tonight, or that's what he said, right? And he said, well, he got mad. He says, I'm gonna go because I'm not gonna win here. That he was telling my brother to take the wrong path. If he took the wrong path, he could have anything he wanted. So he was on a bike, and he got on the bike. He was wearing a white shirt, long sleeve shirt, and black pants. He got on the bike and started zigzagging and disappeared on the lamp post. And
It was like a sulfur, like a white.
yeah, and you could smell it. You could smell it. But before he had gone to stop by with my brother, he had at first he had he rode his bike all the way to the hill at the end of the street, and he howled, right. I
Yeah.
think he howled, and I that's when I went inside,
He
and
made
then when I came
like an animal, not sound like an animal, he howled like an animal.
out, yeah, and when I came back out, he was out there with them. Yeah, it was just so weird because he
It's like
like
I was telling my sister to go inside, and then she went and grabbed the Bible. She had the Bible in her hand, and she started helping me pray
was like
because it wasn't the manifestation it took in the manifestation of this guy that we knew named Martin Kafka, and it wasn't him. The reason it wasn't him because he was locked
yeah,
up
died.
in jail.
No,
He was
I
locked
think
in jail. He was in jail
Kafka,
for
I don't
he had
remember,
been in
but
jail for
I know.
about 2 or 3 months for
So,
trying to rob the HEB.
but yeah, he disappeared, and I just like whoa. But you could smell the sulfur when he passed by. And then that he said he was gonna go the next night. Yeah, it was just so weird. But you could see, I would see shadows, those black shadows. I would see even inside the house, you could see them, and outside. And then at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you could hear. I could hear. I don't know if they heard it, but it was like a tennis racket. Like if they were playing tennis, they would hit it. It would go back and forth, but it would be so low, and then it started getting louder and louder and louder and closer until it was really super loud. At first, I would be scared, but
And
then
where would you
I
hear
got
this noise outside or inside the house?
outside, outside, I could hear it, and then I remember seeing somebody looking a face in the window one night, and they just had a big old smile. Yeah,
Which window was it? Was it the one to the right?
but what I would see, yeah, but
Yeah, that's the one that I seen and Jesse seen, and we call him the Smiley Man. He
yeah,
had a hat on, and he was always smiling, and he was trying to go like that on the window, trying
yeah,
to get us to touch his hand on the window. But the only
mhm,
thing you could see was the white
yeah,
and the white teeth. That's it.
yeah, that's it.
And then he'll be
And
there for about a good 5 minutes, and then he just moved to the side, and he was gone.
that I could hear that, and it would, and first I was afraid, you know, but after a while it just, I stopped being afraid, and I could hear like the door to the truck open and close, open and close. It would sound like the same way, like when the like like if somebody was playing tennis, but the door open and close. You know how it would make a noise
No
at
truck.
the same,
It was a old truck, 1965 Ford.
and then
Yeah,
I, I never told anybody like when mom died. She died, and we were at Minerva's before her funeral. At the window, like 2 o'clock. I said 2 o'clock. I was between two or from like 2 to 3 o'clock. You could hear three knockings. And what does that mean? Three knockings.
yeah, three knocking. That's something demonic.
hmm You could hear it, and it
Well,
would, and everybody was asleep, and I could hear, it, and I would be looking, and I would be looking because I couldn't sleep, and you could hear it. You could hear it. I heard it through all that for like about 2, 3 hours. I heard it. The same knockings, three knockings at a time. But yeah, you see a lot of
So
things.
when you seen him, Beatrice, was he trying to call you to the window, the smiley man?
He was just looking. I wasn't
Like
gonna get up. I could see him.
he would, they said his head and his body would
It
be
was,
right there by the window, right?
I didn't see a body, but I just saw his
Just the
face.
head, the face.
Yeah, the face.
And that's when you were how old when you seen him?
I was like, I would see him.
When you were small, right? When we were small, he was always
Yeah,
appearing there by the. Now, as far as I knew, I heard a story where they said that there was some guys that had robbed the bank and that they got killed in their property or something, or they buried a treasure in our property or something like that. And that's what we always see. That this guy dressed like back in the days with those hats and this like the suit or
yeah.
like a suit, like a gangster, you know. But he just had a smile on his face, and he would just appear by the window, and he would put his hand like this on the screen, you know, like trying to call you to go touch his hand. It was creepy, right?
Yeah, it was creepy because it was at night. That was it. But I remember that night too when you could hear all that night when the father went outside and he tried to pray and was arguing with
Oh
somebody.
yeah, tell him about that night because I've said it, but they
You could
so they
hear,
can hear it from your perspective.
you could
Tell
hear
them it was one night
what
when
I
all this
heard.
happened.
I could hear. You could think of any noise in the world. You could hear it that night. And it got close. It got closer and closer. It was right there in the front door outside. You could hear. You could hear cars, horses, cows. You can even hear Indians. You could hear a lot of stuff. Anything you could think of, you could hear it.
Lions, elephants,
Yeah, I'm getting
different
chills.
sounds of animals.
Yeah, you could hear it. Anything that you can think of, you could hear it that night. And he's well, my dad, he like was trying to pray, he couldn't pray, and he started praying a little bit at a time, and that noise started going back and back and back and back until it went, further
Out the
back.
yard.
hmm And he went outside, and he was arguing with somebody, but you could still hear it. That he was arguing with somebody. But
And you could
we
and
don't know what it was.
you could hear saying different. It was still sounding like different
You could hear
animals
everything.
because
Yes,
it was a demon.
yes,
Uh,
it was.
it was a demon.
Yes, and he was fighting with that. Yeah,
We were seeing
but
them because our house, the windows, we had no AC, so we're seeing and hearing everything. My
and
dad had
my
like a white shirt on, his white T-shirt he would wear all the time,
yeah,
and he's out there fighting spiritually against whatever that
that
was.
and that was. I think that was the same person that would always stand outside. That he looked like an Indian outside of the house
Yes,
every night.
he was go by the corner of the pole over there by our corner fence, and he'll be
It
standing there, and
was something.
he'll be
He would be
calling, he'll be calling him
in,
out. Right,
in the front door. After everything happened, you could see him outside. It was an Indian dressed in a like a tent.
what was it that he told him that he wanted him to do? Do you
He
remember?
told him he told him that he told him to kill all his family, and if he killed all his family, that he would have everything in the world. Yeah, that's
Demons,
what
brothers and sisters. That's what they do. They deceive people. That's
yeah,
what he told them. He told them that he could have anything in the world, but he had to kill his whole family.
yeah.
We were hearing them pray, fighting each other spiritually, because he was trying to pray against it, and the demon was mimicking all kinds of different noises, growling and everything like that. And it was pretty big. How tall do you think that was?
I don't know. I don't remember. Just,
Because he was by the pole. When I seen it standing there one time, it looked like it was at least
oh,
7 foot or higher tall. Then he was sitting Indian style
yeah,
sometimes on the corner. It was
he had,
sitting
uh,
Indian style.
yeah, because those eyes that I saw, I mean, that that was, he was tall. Because you know how the house was in pillars? That
Yeah.
person was tall. You know, you remember a lot of stuff. A lot of
What
stuff.
else do you remember from your childhood that was kind of uh? And I was sharing them about that the shadow figure that would go around the house. Tell them about that if you remember.
About the little boy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
tell it
it
from
would,
your
but
perspective.
it would be during the day. She, and you could see somebody running around the house, and it was hot, and it was during the day, noon. You could see him just running real fast around the house. We could barely. It would. I don't know. It looked like a blur when he would be running. It was just
Like
so
a
weird.
dark shadow
It was.
figure, but a blur moves
Yeah,
so fast.
yeah.
What would mom say?
That it was.
T-
That your friend was outside to go play with him.
What would it tell her, Beatrice or B?
That he was your friend.
I told her I don't know who that is. I never met him
Yeah,
before. Our
yeah,
mom would always be cooking in the kitchen since we were many,
yeah.
and she's like, "Go play with him, pobrecito. He's out there by himself. You're not playing with him."
That it's about the same. That like now it's other. It was about the same that we experienced stuff as kids and growing up. And I mean, now that we're older, I mean, like now that I'm older, I do see like a lot of things that I just don't, you know, bother with it. I just ignore it. When I'm driving, I can see. I guess you could say both that people that have already passed. You know, like say I'm driving on the highway or anywhere I can see it. Like I can see them. That I just you know, I don't get scared or nothing. But because you can tell when it's something bad and when it's something good. You know.
Tell him about the time that you was upset with your husband at
Oh, that
the
one time
at the house over there in Rainbow.
here in Ramville. Oh yeah, I was upset because he had gone out. My husband had gone out and he was like hadn't come home and it was late and I was upset. So I said, "All right, I'm gonna wait up for you." So I laid down with the kids, and where the TV was, there was a window and you could see outside. So I saw him pull in. I saw him in the car. I s- uh, he turned off the car. So I said, "I'm gonna." I was all ready to go argue with him. So I went outside and there was nobody there. I didn't hear the car turn on or nothing. And I saw the car pull in and he was sitting in the car. So I just went, I ran back inside, but it was never him. It was never
But
him.
you said the headlights and everything, huh?
Yes, yeah, when he pulled
You heard the
in,
motor of the vehicle and
yeah,
everything.
and he turned off the car and I could see him sitting in the car. And the car was loud, you could hear it if he turned it on.
It was
But
a old what kind of car was it? An old Chevy?
Chevy, yeah. And there was nobody there. It was I ran back inside the house, I got scared. But yeah, a lot of stuff has happened. Even like with
So okay, now
Abraham.
let's go. We can fast forward, and now you want to Elms Grove, because that's what people are here for. They want to know out of your perspective of what you experienced, because it doesn't hurt what I experienced, but they want to know what you witnessed
I,
and things like that there in Elms Grove.
I, because I could see like my window was like towards the park. I could see clearly towards the park, and you could always see I thought it was the kids running around outside, you know, but it was never the kids.
At what time frame was this be, Beatrice?
It would be like at 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you know, running around, just running around. You could see them, but it wasn't the kids.
Where
It
would you
was
see
the
him running
shadow.
around at? At the park or where?
At the park at first, the park, but then I would see them like closer. And I remember seeing one. It was tall. I thought it was a deer, but it wasn't a deer. Like on the where the it was next to the lamp post, and it was
Hmm.
huge. It was huge. But I could see them near the house. I could see them inside. I, like I say, I could see them like floating in the ceiling. You know.
Inside the house?
Uh,
It, there would you say in the ceiling?
Yeah.
They were you say you used to see him peek from on top of the door frame, right? Look down from the door frame, looking inside your room.
Sometimes, yeah. But
Uh, I'm gonna let you speak of Elms Grove, the things that you experienced and you seen.
I remember that time when you were sick, when you had came out of the hospital and you were like really sick, and you were like delirious. Like you would say, they're there, and I stayed with you, and I remember I stayed with you that night in your room. That I could, you were saying they're there, and I was like, no, there's nothing there, but there was. I would see, there was shadows. There were like ladies there, and you could hear them like chanting,
They were
you
chanting.
know. Yeah, but I will tell you there was nothing there, but there was somebody
That's when I
there.
had my blood clot in my left leg.
Yeah, yeah,
I remember you ran into the room and you jumped on the bed and you started praying because you
yeah.
were seeing
And I
them.
stayed there with you, and I would tell you, no, there's nothing there. Just go to sleep, you know. And he was really, really sick. But yeah,
I was
but
swinging because I was seeing them. There's figures with skeletons like death,
but
and I was swinging at them, and she was
what,
praying.
what I saw was it was just ladies like they were all in black, old ladies, older women.
Oh, you seen old ladies?
Yeah, that's what I saw.
How many did you see?
I don't know. I want to say like 5 or 6, about 5 or 6. But yeah, and I could like when I was there by myself, I could hear you talking or coughing, but you weren't there. We had already moved out. Even I could hear the kids and they weren't there. It was just me by myself. So I would get up and I would tell them that they weren't allowed there and for them, to leave. And, and I would, pray. But it wasn't really. It was just bad there. Just bad.
Uh, when I left, you said you were here. Tell them about the double hangers, like they would mimic your children and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I had moved out of there,
And they would do it to you too. They would do mimic you. That's what I was talking about. They would mimic you too, and the kids. When I was there by myself, you could hear somebody walking in the house and stuff, but there was nobody there. It was just me.
tell them about the lady that would come borrow cigarettes from you, Beatrice, la la Puertorriqueña, the Puerto Rican lady.
That's the one that died, right?
Yeah, but tell her that,
And I didn't
remember
even know her.
she was
I
always
didn't
coming
even
to
know.
the house asking you for cigarettes late at night, like at
But
nighttime, right?
And I didn't know her. I really didn't know her, and she was weird. She was kind of creepy.
She came
But
one
yeah,
night asking for cigarettes for my sister, and she told him she didn't have any, and she said, "Okay, I'm gonna go cut through the
that's
woods,"
yeah,
and that's when it happened. Right, she
that's when
was
she
cutting through
died.
the woods, and you just hear
That,
something happen on the highway, and we go out there, and I guess she ran in front of a semi truck,
that was the day
and
she died. Yeah,
the truck driver was all scared, and he was saying that she literally jumped in front of the vehicle like if something was chasing
yeah,
her. But she would always go to her house asking for my sister for cigarettes. She was a Puerto Rican lady.
yeah. But she looked weird. She was kind of creepy. She had an aura about her.
Tell him that about little Rick when I was yelling because of little Rick.
Because he was crying, and he said there was a black shadow over him.
Yeah, I mean, tell
Yeah,
him how it happened. I mean,
I don't know.
that,
I don't even know. He was asleep. He was asleep on the couch, and I don't know where the kids were. I think they were outside or
oh, they were
maybe
in the room asleep,
in the
but they
room.
left him on the couch.
No, they weren't sleeping. They were up still. I don't know what they were doing, and that's when you yelled. I was in the room already, like going to sleep. That's when you yelled. You know, that there was somebody trying something over him, and trying to take him or something. And that's
That's when I
when
went running after it outside. But remember at first, when I would say about the things that I would see, really nobody believed me. At first when I was there, that nobody really believed me of what was happening around there because nobody had experienced something or seen anything.
yeah, for a second, it was in the bathroom when that happened. Hey Jenna, you're still awake? Yeah, but there were.
I
I think
know, I know. Ryan would see a man with a hat that would go to his room.
Freddy Krueger.
That had a
Yeah,
hat, and he said that his face was burnt.
it was
And
like
we
Freddy.
were just saying that he was afraid of Freddy Krueger, but
Yeah,
but
I mean, you saw it,
fear.
didn't you see it one time?
Yeah, outside. I think I got a picture of it. It had like red eyes. I got a picture that I have to post of it.
Yeah, all my kids experienced something over there too. You know,
Like everybody got affected by the activity there in Elms Grove.
like
Tell
my
them about
daughter.
the what las tamboras, Beatriz. Lo que oías en la noche.
Oh, the drums, like Indian drums. You could hear them at night. In the middle of the night, you could hear Indian drums. They're like war drums. Like whether you could hear 'em. It would start like real low and then start getting louder and louder.
You can hear those drumbeats coming out of the woods
Yeah,
by the creek.
I remember that one time. Everybody was gone. You were already gone. I went to go sit down at the park. It was like probably like 11, probably 12, maybe 1 o'clock. I don't remember. But I know it was at night. And I went to go sit down on the bench. I was just thinking, I was by myself and I was on my phone. And all of a sudden, I just felt something, and you could see all these dark shadows that were like around me. One was in the tree, and one was in the front, and some were on the side. It was
Tell
probably
them, tell
about,
them the capabilities of these dark shadows, so they can understand that it was just not a shadow from a tree. But tell them what they would do. Dark
I don't
shadows.
know. They were just there. They're just there. They were real tall. They were like around me and stuff, and I
When you
just
talk about tall, how tall would you estimate?
probably like 8, 9 feet, maybe 9 feet. They were
8 to 9
tall,
feet tall, folks. Very tall. Very tall.
and they were just there around me, and I just sat there and I just looked. I didn't get scared, and they were just there. They wouldn't even move. you know. And I started praying, and I just got up and I started going back, to the house.
So, so how many did you see?
I think we're like five or six.
5 or 6.
Yeah, and they weren't. It was just dark shadows, you know. But they didn't move or nothing. They just stayed there. But the one that was in front of me was pretty close. That I couldn't see their face or nothing like that. But it was just dark, you know. But I started praying. I just got up and I just started walking back.
What were the things that would happen to you, like that you knew it was something bad to your senses? Would they get triggered?
Yeah,
Uh,
I would get chills. All my hair would stand up and I could feel it. And I knew something. Well, me seeing it, it was just you know I wouldn't get scared anymore. I remember seeing that one dead girl. It was uh, but she looked like just like you and me. She looked real. She wasn't like when people see ghosts, they think she wasn't
well,
transparent
how
or
does she
nothing.
look?
She looked like us, and she had like a blanket over her in the middle of the night outside. And then I think like 2 days after, they she came out in the paper that they had found her dead, and it was that same girl.
And what, a native
Or
girl?
that girl, they had found her dead. Yeah. Um. But she was whole. She had a blanket over. She had clothes on. Like there was nobody. It was just her. And I was seeing her, and then when I looked down and I went to look up again, she wasn't there anymore. And then like 2 days later, they had found her dead. You know. You know.
Where did they find her dead at?
I don't remember, but they had found her dead. They had found her body. I I mean, I would even see like would dream like before like it would happen. I would see everything how it was gonna happen and stuff like that. I still do sometimes, but it's you know not as much anymore. But I would see things like that when I was younger.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh, Tell them about the night when you heard the woman crying for help. Because there's people that try to tell me that they listen to the show of the Terror in the Woods season 3 episode 2. They try to tell me that it was probably an animal making that noise. Tell them what you heard because you're the one that
Uh,
woke me up.
I'm the one that woke up. That woke me out of my sleep. There was a woman yelling for help. She sounded. She was yelling really really loud, like at 2 in the morning. I think.
Yeah, there was 3, like around 3.
Fuck yeah. It was
It
always
was
early in
late.
the morning. Yeah, and I went and woke you up out of your sleep, and I told you that somebody needed help. A lady was yelling, and you could hear her yell, "Help me!" really loud.
So how bad?
That
How loud was she sounding to you? Because
was really loud.
I live
Because
further away from the park because I live on the other side of the mobile home, and she lived
it would
towards the end of
echo.
by where the street was.
It would echo. It sounded real, really super loud. It woke me. For it to wake me up out of my deep sleep, it was loud. And that's when you went outside and you went over there to see if she needed help. And when
Yeah.
you came back,
How long was it gone when I
when you
went
came,
out there? Do you remember?
I remember like probably like what, 20, 25 minutes maybe.
Yeah, I don't. I was there for a while. I don't remember. I just
And
remember fighting spiritually in there.
and when you came back, it was just your face was all white. You look like you had seen a ghost, and you went straight, and you went and
Let me see. Anybody's got. Well, cousin says it's an awesome show. Yeah, she woke me up, and I was like, she told me go, go. There's a woman. I went out there. It was cold outside. I was in my boxers, and I
yeah,
heard the woman yelling for help. I went inside, put on my warm ups, and I had like a cold. So I really couldn't smell. Uh, so I just grabbed my bat, grab a bat. What was it? The brown bat, right? I grabbed the brown bat. I said I'll be back, and I went out there with no flashlight.
you could still hear it when I woke
Be-
you up. She was
Yeah,
yelling.
yeah, she was yelling real loud.
You
And
definitely hear it.
that's when I went out there and I shared my encounter with y'all. What happened out there when I was out there, where I was surrounded by this. I believe it could have been those shadow beings that you were witnessing because they were real tall and they were
You
looking
could
down at me. They had white eyes, white white eyes, glowing eyes that I could see that, but I couldn't really see their silhouette. But the silhouette I was seeing, they manifested to was like a lycanthrope or a werewolf. That's how they looked to me, pretty big.
I know they were big.
So that's why I had to went into prayer because there was too many, and the bat looks like a toothpick compared to how big they were. The bat that I had wasn't going to do nothing against them. So that's when I went into prayer, and I could have gone to the creek or to the highway, but they would have chased me. That's a sign of a fear. So I said I couldn't do that sign if it's a wild animal. To see that you have fear, they're going to attack. So that's why I did what I did, and I just went into prayer, and I was there for a while in the woods.
I, yeah,
You
I
were waiting for me
remember.
on the porch all that time,
Yeah,
and I remember you
and
there, and you asked me if I was okay, and I just didn't say nothing to you.
I know
I
you
was
went inside and you took a, a bath.
showered,
Mhm.
yeah, to get the sin of fear off of me, and I prayed for the water to be blessed, so nothing could get attached to me. How many times did you see me, Sister B, go outside and put holy water and all that?
You would do that like almost every day.
Every day. It
You,
was a everyday battle, spiritual
you could
battle there in Elms Grove.
you could even hear them hitting the house and stuff on the
They will
side.
hit our house,
Oh,
the
stuff.
mobile
Yeah.
home. They will hit the pound on the side of the walls.
I remember I,
You could
one time, like the sliding door. I was gonna go check to see if it was locked. 'Cause I was gonna lock it, and there was a shadow right there.
Shadow was standing outside the sliding door.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, whoever's here viewing, for those if you go to Elms Grove, I would suggest for y'all don't have no spiritual openings at all, and you better be spiritually prepared going into that area because those freaking shadow figures or those demonic presence that's there, they're freaking conniving, man.
and I
They,
remember too. Sometimes um they would see. I don't know. I think it was a woman or a man that would stand in stand inside where the trees were and stuff. Be looking at the kids and would be calling them.
in the right there by the path of Elms Grove. I
Yeah,
think it was my nephew's girlfriend. She came crying
I think it was
running from the
a man.
park.
Or it was a girl.
No,
I think
Anisha
yeah,
that she was
and
playing
she
on the
was
swings, and there was a man, all like a shadow,
she said
calling her by her name to go in the
she was
woods, and she
scared.
got scared,
Yeah,
and she kept running home, and we went over there to see what was going on, but we couldn't find nothing. No,
yeah.
it's probably the same dark shadow figure that lured my son. You remember that time, Beatrice, when Abram got lured into the woods?
When they went into the woods.
Yeah, when we couldn't find him and Belinda's daughter.
Yeah, I remember that time.
Just a lot of strange events like that will happen. I think that the one that got me the most is when, I mean, they're very devious. They can mimic voices like of you, guy.
Yeah.
So
They
imagine this: you're at the park at nighttime,
even look
and
like you.
I could hear like my sister calling me from the woods, or somebody from my family calling me from the woods, or my son saying, "Dad, I'm over here," and they're trying to lure you into the woods, and it's late at night, like around 12:30, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and you know that your son is asleep in the room because when you left the room,
Yeah.
that's where you stayed, right? So that's what they would do. They would mimic the voices of people that we knew.
Yeah.
Uh, we're not Native American, but we have some kind of
We have
Native
some.
in us.
Yeah.
I don't know. My brother knows all about what
Some
kind of
type
Native we
of
got. My brother Robert, he done the history of that. But we've always had the spiritual instincts, all of us. Even my mother, she could do things that would
slap
happen
a whole
before.
tribe.
Was that?
Yes, it should slap a whole tribe.
There's some we got profiles there. There's hillbillies from Oklahoma. That's the ones that are trolling us. They say they're this a kind of native, but they look like they were created by wrong turn, by
And we
inbreeding. I don't know if inbreeding is
all
such a term that you're some kind of native. I don't think inbreeding is a native term that you're some kind
haters,
of native.
haters are
We do
always
have
gonna.
native blood in us. Uh, just look at our faces, man. Hello,
Yeah. The high
McFly.
Chico. Yeah.
I do have a I do have a present for that troll. I know who it is. Is a corn on the cob guy. Owning a cheap Cherokee doesn't make you native. Yeah, it's a troll. I got a present for him. All he got to do is mail me his address, so I can send it to him. Wait up, I'll be right back. Keep him
Oh,
entertained, Sister B.
her brother-in-law is so. Hey, Jesse. Oh, you're my. So where is it? Everybody from? But do all of y'all experience similar things?
Corn on the cob. Since you came in here being rude and trolling, I got something for you, bro. This is corn on the cob. You could grab this sucker, put it sideways, straight up, and stick it up your candy ass. Because I know that's what you like, corn on the cob. You don't have to take this off. Just leave it on there. This for corn on the cob.
California, nice. My brother lives in California. My other
You can
brother
stick it with everything in it, even with this. I don't
with
I
a
don't give a
little
shit.
chicken floss.
Here you go, AI, Stephen Michael McGee, and everybody that's affiliated with you. Grab this sucker, stick it sideways, however you want to stick it.
They can
Stick it up
share it.
your candy asses. I knew you were going to be here trolling. So every time you say something, just give me your address. I'll gift you this from Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Hey, corner the cob. Free. You don't have to pay me nothing. I want to invest in your panhandling. I want to give you something for free.
I'll buy him some butter
You don't have to put no butter on it, bro. With a whole with everything. What is this called, Beatriz? Tusk.
for the tusk.
You're gonna need it where you're going, buddy. You're gonna need
That's
it where
fun.
you're going. You got to train the muscles, bro. Where you going?
He
You're
probably
gonna
already
need.
used
Now
to.
this guy is a deadbeat dad. He lost his son, and he's trying to blame everybody about his son. But he's got things that he did that's why they took his son away from him. So where he's going, he's got to practice because they're going to be waiting for his ass.
That's funny.
You want to like this corner of the cob? I don't know. You're the expert, man. There's a gift from Spiritually Cryptid Encounters to you.
You
Send me
probably
your
got it.
address. Do I put a corner of the cob? I'll send it to you, man, for free.
He's probably got
Or
excited.
or you want to come by and get it, man? I'll give it to you for free, man. It's got your name on it.
That's funny.
Oh man, he asked for it. He came in here being disrespectful. There you go.
Is he the
I'll
one
save
that
it here.
always comes in and trolls?
He likes corn on the cob. Well, no, not even buttered. He just like it straight up like that.
Yeah. I'm dry.
Sorry about that, sis. I didn't mean to do that, but he come
That's
in
funny.
here and being disrespectful, so I had to put him on his place. You're gonna have to get used to
Corn
it
in
being
the cup.
somebody's
Not
bitch,
corn in the
man.
cup.
Corn on the cob because they're gonna be waiting for you where you going. You're gonna be somebody's bitch.
Uh,
Excuse my language. Yeah.
that's funny.
Jesse said I've heard of a corn in the cup, but never corn up the butt. You know how them people from Oklahoma be doing it, man? They're freaks. They're like ding 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 ding.
That's funny.
Okay, let's ignore the guy
Um,
now. He said
it's
something rude. That's the only reason I did that. Sorry about that, people. But I was saving the corn for him. I'll gift it. I'll even put my signature on there, and my sister could put a signature. Do whatever you can do whatever the hell you want to do with it.
I'll put a
Just so
little
you don't
table
you don't tell me
butter.
what he does with it. We good.
I'll put a little tablespoon of butter so it can have a little.
You don't want to.
It's probably used to it already.
He probably is. He's a sick individual. That guy's been trolling me for 3 years, sis. He's a troll. I said, what does he want? I said, let me use my psychic abilities. Here it
Probably
is.
the
¿Lo
corn
quiere Asina? Asina
from todo.
con todo el pedo. With a worm and everything. If he's got worms, you want it with a worm?
You never know, bro. Maybe he's in love with you, and you don't give him the time of day.
uh, Neighbor's Angel said, I've
And
seen Lechusa as a child. Shadow Man and the one who wears a hat and suit. Also a man who walks so fast, I only saw his side of a little of his face.
yeah, I remember seeing back home. It was like at 2 in the morning.
Commercial.
I was outside. It was me and my friends were outside sitting down, and I think I told you that there was we were just talking, and joking around and stuff, and sitting down on the porch, and there was this lady, all dressed in black with a black veil, and she was walking in the middle of the street, but her feet weren't touching the ground, and she was in the middle of the street, and then she went to the side and she pulled out her hand, hitting the fence, and then she disappeared. I remember told. I think I told you. I
She
think so. I'm
disappeared.
not sure. She disappeared. Yeah, because it was weird because her feet weren't touching the ground.
They were touching what?
Her feet weren't touching the ground.
Oh, where was this at?
It was we were. I was across the street with Lila. I think we had gone out. I'm not sure, but it was a
Was
black
she dressed
lady.
all in black?
all in black, but like in one of those dresses from like back then. But
Yeah,
his
with a veil on her face.
the black veil. Yeah, yeah. Christy Home women set up. That could be some- Mhm.
How you
So
doing,
you
Sister
see,
Nellie Turner? And everybody here, Sister Madeline. You know, I'm sorry I wasn't looking at the comments because I was trying to
it was
place
picking
for
up more.
some money, but I didn't win nothing, so I logged out. I just wanted my sister to share some of the things that she's witnessed. How you doing, Overbuild Automotive? Yeah, so this guy's, you know, I, s- uh, I
I'm
knew
sorry.
that the trolls were going to come because that's what they do. They troll me every night because they got nothing else better to do. Just a lot of things were happening inside the house too. I know things were happening to me where I wasn't myself, where it felt like something was trying to overtake me when I was fighting spiritually, and it was affecting not just me but everybody in the house. It's kind of like it was trying to jump from person to person, you know, because it wanted uh, to cause destruction. And it wasn't just happening to us; it was happening to other people within the neighborhood too. I mean,
That place,
how many,
that place,
how many did you count over there by the park in Elms Grove? There was a lot of them, right?
there's a lot of them.
Do you
There's a
remember the
lot of
time that the cops were there that were chasing the shadow?
yeah, because they thought somebody was like breaking in,
Because
but it
they
wasn't.
thought
Nobody.
there was a lady that she was taking a shower and she seen a peeping tom, but it was real tall because her window was one of those windows that was on top that he
Yeah,
was looking at her through the window. So they called
that
the
happened.
cops
That
and the
happened to
cops
me too.
started chasing it and it was a big shadow they were chasing. They were hitting it with the spotlights and you could see the shadow running in the spotlight, but it was all black. But they could never
I,
catch it.
I don't know who I was there. But I remember that happened to me too. To the window one day. But I don't know. I had come home from work and I was changing, and that happened to me through the window too one day.
Yeah, they're very tall. The shadow beings, man, I say like 8, 9 foot
Yeah,
tall. Possibly some of them are taller. That
with the hat.
when people go and investigate in the woods, they're looking like this just in front of them. Where they need to look is to the top because they could be looking down at them.
And and
That's what
you
happened
know
to
what they,
me.
you know what they say who that man is that wears a top hat and that black suit with the cane.
Who's that?
You know who he is, right? He said he's the Satanas.
The what?
Satanas.
Well, Satan,
That's who they say it is.
the Hat Man.
Yeah,
Well,
him.
we always witness it all the time around the
A lot
mobile
of people.
home. It was we're seeing shadow figures. We're seeing like somebody running on top of the roof at nighttime. It's like the on top of the roof. You can hear somebody running off on top of the roof at nighttime.
Not Slender Man. That I
Slender,
mean,
slender, slender
Slender Man.
man.
That's gonna
No, it's
come
not
get
Slender Man. Slender Man is just a something that they made up. It's not no Slender
you. Yeah.
Man. See what else? Any questions anybody would like to ask my sister from the viewers here? Y'all seen the show of This Was So Haunted, and we talked a little bit about where I came from, and we're talking about Elms Grove right now. Any questions for her? Because I wanted to bring my niece one day on also
Yeah.
because
They said
she,
that.
she wants
That
to do a live with me. I just don't know if she can do it at nighttime. So if I do a live with her, it's got to be during the day.
They say that the Hat Man is the main one. Is look, I don't want to say it.
He's like the one in charge of all the
Yeah,
activity.
the head honcho. Yeah, a
I
lot of
believe
people.
you got the Hat Man, you got the Hellhounds, and then you got the Mothman or Lechusas. You know that they're all affiliated because of witchcraft and necromancy.
And when every time, well, when I saw that man, he had that dog. It was a black dog with red eyes, and the dog was huge, and with his tail sticking up straight up.
That's the one I
Yeah,
seen in the valley. I seen
yeah,
the Hat Man. And he had the with the red eyes, and he had like a cape with a cane, and then it was I guess the Hellhound that was with him that chased me back into town. He had red eyes with the tails pointing
it
straight
was
up
his.
in the air. You can
Hey,
tell
Jan.
when it's something that's supernatural because there's a magnetic disturbance in the air. Your senses get triggered. You know, like your hair stand up and stuff like that. But when I was younger, I didn't know no better. But now I know how to fight spiritually. So I'm not going to run away from something like that. I'll say I'll tie, bind, and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. But I went through a lot over there in Elms Grove. Oh man, it was crazy. Not just me, but all of us. We went through a lot of stuff there in Elms Grove.
Yes, Jennifer. Because she has a question. She just
It
messaged
was,
me, Jenny. Be quiet. She says, "Do you know the Muffin Man?"
let me see some of these questions here. So
Jennifer.
while next on the cops chase evil shadow man, no episode could not be aired. My mom was on in Brushy Mountain Prison in Tennessee. Okay. Somebody said they seen a huge lechusa. I believe you
Yeah,
because they do exist. Oh, tell
yeah,
them some of the
big.
stories. Tell them some of the stories of the lechusas that we encountered on our journey
I
here in Cabo.
remember. I
Tell
remember
them the
one
story.
night back home. I had. I was outside. It was like probably like 10, 11 o'clock. I went outside, to get some fresh air, and we had a bench, and there was a tree, a big tree, right under the bench was under the tree, and I laid down one day on the bench, and I closed my eyes, and then when I opened them, there was a big one on the tree. It was huge, but it didn't look like a bird. I don't know what it looked like. It was huge. It looked like a person. It was.
Did it have red eyes?
I don't know. I didn't stay there. I got up and I ran inside.
How old were you when this happened?
It was after mom passed away. And then when I was getting up, she was in the truck. And that's when I ran inside. When I was passing the truck, she was like, it sounded like she was trying to get out. It was something bad. I ran inside and I never went outside again that late. Outside like that. Not myself.
The truck that she's talking about, brothers and sisters, was a truck where my mom got shot,
Uh,
and she was saying something in there every night. Like we had the truck, so at nighttime, what would happen?
uh,
Like around 2 or 3 in the morning, you hear the door open and close, open and close.
you
You can
could
hear it
see
open, and then you can hear slam, open and slam. Then, if you look outside
shadows
the window, you could see a silhouette of. It looked like her
turn
sitting in the
and you see the
sit,
ring.
but then sometimes she would have a wicked look in her face, right?
Or sometimes you would see her and you would see somebody else inside a shadow, black shadow, and they would be fighting. You could see it. She
At
would
nighttime.
she would come like every morning before school. She would wake us up. You could hear her. She would wake us up to get ready for school, and then she would go to the boys' room and tell them too. And at night, she would come and she would sing to my little sister every night, and you could smell the smell was it would penetrate your nose,
Like
and
pestilence.
yeah, that it was the death. The way she
Like it?
smelled, of
Yeah.
death. You could smell it. It would penetrate your nose and your mouth. And she would come every night and sing to her. You could hear her. And I didn't want to open my eyes, you know. And then Lupita would hear her too. Every
It's
night
like
for
once we
like
got rid of the truck, all those things started kind of stopped, right? When we got rid of the truck.
when I stayed there, I could still see her. I could hear her. I could see her all the time. I could all the time. You could hear her doing dishes. You could hear her walking, the way she would walk. But until the very end, I would see a lot of stuff until I left from there, you know.
Yeah, my
But
little sister was 2 year. Was it 2 or 3? 3.
she was gonna turn 3. She
And
was gonna turn.
she was always talking to somebody through the window. And she was said she was be talking to her mother. And this is late at night, like 2, 3 in the morning,
I remember. Yeah,
where my sister be
nobody
talking
there.
to her through the window,
Yeah,
and she'd be saying she'd be talking to her mom, and this is like 2:33 in the morning, and we'll get her away from the window, tell her to go to sleep.
yeah.
Uh,
And we even
Tell them
covered
about
that window.
the activity says that was happening before everything happened with our mother. Like tell them about what was happening up north when we go work in the fields and stuff like that.
Just it was just sad. Like every night, I I would see a lot of stuff. I would see the black shadows, but then I would see a white silhouette that looked like my grandpa. With a, he was he would wear he was he would he was it was a white silhouette but with a hat. Just exactly the way he would wear his clothes. You couldn't see his face or nothing. It was just a white silhouette, and even the way he would stand, it
Yeah,
was him. And I'm not the only one that saw that. My sister saw it too. I don't know if you saw it,
all
but
of
I
us.
would
Yeah, I seen him. I
every
would see him
night.
standing behind us when we would be working in the fields with his hands
Yeah,
on his hip. Yeah,
and it was just horrible. That last year that we were together was just horrible.
a lot of activity, a lot of fighting.
Yes.
Tell him, Beatrice, the time that we seen all those red eyes that surrounded the ranch.
Oh,
The
in the bottom.
the ranch
What?
when I was telling them that they were fighting inside, and I came inside and say, "Hey, there's some things with red eyes in front of our house, or by the pine trees, and
At
then
night. Yeah, yeah,
they were all around
yeah.
the house at the ranch of the ranch."
I guess there were like shadows or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was just really really bad. It was something evil, you know. But yeah, before anything happened, and I even dreamt before my mom passed away. I dreamt her that she was in a coffin, and
She passed away through domestic violence.
yeah, and I
So
dreamt
it
that
was domestic violence that took her life.
before, before she passed away. I dreamt her 2 weeks before that I was going into a church. I was walking into a church, and then it turned into a funeral home, and there was a coffin. And when I got closer and closer, I saw her in the coffin. And then 2 weeks after that, you know, she was
We,
gone.
we would try to warn her parents, but they were too just bumping heads like rams, and the story of when the head of the household are being bonded, and they're being bonded because they're fighting and arguing, then other things are going to come and infiltrate because nobody's protecting the foundation. That's exactly what happened. We're being attacked. We see dishes
It was
fly,
bad. It was
noises outside,
lot,
little
a lot.
scratchings on the walls, banging on the walls, and all kinds of things.
Even yeah, it was just a lot of stuff you couldn't even see. We would like wash clothes and we would go hang up the clothes in the what do you call it outside.
In the
And
clothesline. On
The
the
closed line,
outdoor.
and like would go outside sometimes in the middle of the night to go get clothes. You could see like people outside. I don't know if you saw them,
Yeah, I've
like
seen
in the
them.
grass stuff.
Yeah, there was people that would have robes on and stuff like that.
Yes.
Like there was I seen a guy with a red robe,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other ones had black, which were the females, which would be
Yeah.
a warlock and witch, dark witches or witches.
But that town back then, if you just could feel it. As soon as you start entering that town where we were from, you could feel all the bad stuff. You could
It's
feel
like a
it.
change of atmosphere.
Yes.
I
And you
don't
can
know if it's
feel it.
a different magnetic pull, or you're entering a different time warp, or like a time warp or time zone, or a different, just different. You feel once you cross into our city, man, it feels like you've entered the damn twilight zone of some sort because it's your senses are just triggered. You know,
Like I hadn't gone back in over 20 years ever since I left. Maybe long. It had been longer than that probably. I hadn't gone back, and when I went back to my sister, and it still felt the same. It felt the same as soon as you start entering it. You know, you just could feel that
it's
thing.
yeah, it's kind of like we've been targeted for a very long time. You know, but not just the negative side of the balance, but through evil people that wanted to take us out. You know, I moved all my brothers and sisters to Central Texas to get them out of the valley because of insurance fraud that somebody had that had our names in there. It had our parents' name and our names, and back then anybody could buy insurance. So it's kind of like if all the people died on the insurance, and they get a collect on that insurance, and that's what it was about. You know, I believe what happened to my mother had to do with that. The reason I found out about that is because of the military that did investigation because of something that happened to me when I went back home to visit them. That the cops surrounded me and they got some people try to do something to me. So that's what they find out. The internal affairs for the military said that there was a hit out for me. That there was a hit out for $20,000. That they wanted me dead, and then they told me I couldn't go back over there. So my platoon sergeant said, "I'm going to give you a week." I said, "Try to get as many as your family members out of there because they're in danger too." Remember, Beatrice, you told me the time that your house got surrounded by people when when you live in the White House on the other side of town. That the
Yeah,
house got surrounded by people. That there were a lot of people there, like they were trying to go in.
yeah. And I would dream. I would always have that dream. Of somebody breaking in. I had it for about. I had it for weeks, and I would tell my sister, and I would tell her, and she was like, no. And then one night it happened. Exactly the way I dreamt it. Exactly the same way. But my boyfriend, my husband, my husband, he was there. That he was my boyfriend at the time. He was there when that happened. That I had dreamt that dream for weeks. Uh, And it was just weird because it happened the same exact same way. And if he wasn't there, they probably would have broken in. You know,
You know.
it was just me and my son. Lord knows what would have happened.
Then I went and I moved everybody to Killeen. I brought everybody from down there and moved them.
I was the only one that had stayed there for a while.
Yeah,
And I remember every night, I would see somebody at the window. Somebody was at the window. You could see with red eyes every night. It got to the point that I like kind of got scared because they were there every night. I don't know who it was, but sometimes they would be smoking a cigarette back to back, back to back. Mm. I don't know. having like something bad or just somebody that, you know, it got to that point that I wouldn't
But
even be there anymore at
then what
night.
we experienced, like it's kind of like it followed, whatever. We moved to over here, and then things started happening over here. But the things that happened here was a lot different than what we experienced in the Rio Grande Valley, don't you think?
It had no eyes. Mm.
I would see during the day. I remember I seen somebody outside my window, and I opened the window, and I seen a lady that had like a brown thing on her head, like a robe, and her face was like black, and she had cracks on the side of her face where you could see like lava or fire coming out of her face, and her eyes were like reddish and yellowish, and she was looking at me and just looking at me right through the window in Elms Grove. Then all of a sudden she's gone, and it's like, I mean, I could see that could be kind of like a succubus or possibly a degen. I'm not sure, but I think the land we were living on, what I understand, used to be native Indian burial ground. 'Cause, after we did the show, people contacted me and they said that the airport was built on that native Indian burial ground, and the golf course was built on a native Indian burial ground,
Yeah.
and they just built over it. And that's probably why we had the activity we had, and we were seeing the things that we were seeing there. It was crazy, just that the vibe, man. It was a crazy vibe just living there, and we stayed there for I stayed there for a lot of years, from 2002 all the way to 2015.
Okay, Jesse. Good night. Love you too.
Correct, cousin Jesse. Have a good night, cousin. I just want to say thank you to everybody that joined the live here tonight. If you want to ask any questions to my sister, you're more than welcome to ask her. I know a lot of people have been requesting her to come here live, and I brought her. If you have any questions for her, she can give you some answers. Yeah, the people that told me about that area was some old man, an old man.
Yeah.
He's already like in his 80s, and he contacted me when he seen the show, and he said that he knows what the history of that land was, and he was saying that he was one of the guys that built the airport, and that when they were digging up the airport, that there was a native Indian burial ground, so they were told to build over it, and he said that the land where the mobile home park was, that there used to be
Good night,
native Indian
Father.
burial ground too. Uh, that's why they sold so cheap, because it was built on native Indian burial ground. Somebody says, "Have you seen a Sasquatch or a dog man?"
I don't think so. I've just seen like a black shadow that looks like a deer, but I don't think I've ever seen a Sasquatch or a dog man. Doppelganger. How do you say it? A doppelganger. That
Well, how about I think what they mean by dog man, they mean like a werewolf like creature. That's what they're talking about.
no, I've never seen.
Just the shadow figures that you're seeing that were roaming around the park.
You even back home, that
But
I've
wasn't
never
there
seen a dog.
a lot of animals disappearing in the neighborhood? That those always signs of missing dogs and missing cats.
Yeah, man, it was so weird.
Somebody said my aunt was a witch, and I believe that's why my family is cursed.
My grandma, my
Yeah,
grandma,
tell them about her grandma, Beatrice.
my grandma was this. I believe she was once, because I remember every year there was this man that would go to her house every year. He had a black suit on. Did he wear a hat too with a cane? Every
It
year he
was a
would
man that would come every year. Yeah,
here and he would make like bread puddings, capirotada, bread puddings, and she would have it, and she would tell us not to go over there. I was small. I remember. I think you remember, and
yeah.
she would say not to go over there when he would go every year. But when she died, we were all in the funeral home. There was this lady all dressed in black. She came from, when she entered, she was kneeling. She came kneeling all the way to the coffin.
But there was three ladies. There
Saying
was two
something,
standing
yes,
beside her, and
yes,
her in the ground crawling,
on the ground, and she was saying something. Like,
moving like a snake. Right.
yeah. And then when she didn't go all the way to the coffin, she just right there where the seats were. And then she was saying something. You couldn't understand the words. And then she started backing up like that, kneeling all the way back.
You remember how the people were, Beatrice? How there wasn't
Yeah,
moving. All the people. It's kind of like there wasn't talking or nothing. Like they were just like frozen, like
yeah.
time. Because
I don't know.
the doors had
Yeah,
opened up, and then they came in, but everybody that was talking stopped
yeah,
talking,
yeah. It was all quiet. I don't know if what happened. I don't know if they were just freaking out because she was doing that.
or
But
just time
I remember.
froze. Time stopped
Hmm.
because it's kind of like they were playing Simon Says. So there wasn't moving. Like
And
the
she was
people that were
all dressed in
talking,
black.
it's like their
Yeah,
mouth was open, like they were still talking, but they wasn't saying nothing.
she
So
was.
that happened. When she came, they moved backwards.
Yeah,
They went
yeah,
backwards.
yep. The way they
When
came, that's the way she went back. Back, yeah.
backwards,
Turn
and
around and not. Yeah, it was.
when the doors closed, everybody started talking again.
Yeah, that
I
was
thought I
that
was the
was.
only one to seen that, but I'm glad that you're saying it because that means that
No,
you seen it too.
that was a trip. That was a trip. That was a trip. But
And they did the same thing at the church. At the
hmm,
church also,
yeah,
they went the same way to the front. It's like
mm,
the priest was like this, and the water was still in the air.
they,
You know,
they
from
were.
the he was trying to bless. You know how you bless, and he froze like that when they when they came in, and it's like the water was in the air. They went all the way to the front in the church, and then they went backwards. And when they went backwards, when the doors closed, the water fell on the ground. It's like time started again. It's like it was weird. So what was it that had the power to control time like that? I don't know, but that's what I witnessed.
Yeah, it was really creepy.
It's kind of like I could look like this at everybody, and everybody's just like
Yeah, just like that night, those girls were like
they're
that.
like that, right, Beatrice?
I
Like
was there, and they wouldn't say anything. They wouldn't even blink.
the girls, it
Yeah, and,
wasn't
and it was
blinking.
like when he left and he disappeared, they were like they couldn't remember. They didn't
They don't even
remember.
remember what happened.
Yeah,
That's part of spiritual warfare. You know, when people tell you that these things don't exist and all this, if those didn't exist, that means that Jesus Christ
uh,
exists and God exists. I'm telling you, we've been through it. We've been fighting spiritually for a very long time.
yep, it does. You just have to, when it happens to you, you'll believe that.
It said, "Is your
Like
name Beatrix, Beatrice,
Beatrice,
Bea,
B, yeah, they
B,
call me B. B.
Beatrice, BEA?"
Jennifer, you're
There's
so
Jenny.
up.
Yeah,
Jennifer experiences stuff like
I
a lot
know.
of
I'm
stuff.
just spiritually gifted. That's the next
Yeah.
person I want to bring on the show. One day that she wants to do it is my niece Jennifer, so she can share her experience of what she's going through right now, but what she's been through. You know, she's experienced a lot of things herself, and that's the other person I wanted to bring was my niece. Uh, but I told her that I wanted to do my sister first, and then whenever she got time, we're thinking about on a Sunday, but try to do it during the day for her because you know she's a single parent. raising her son, and he's got to get ready for school and stuff like that. But only when she's ready, so she could share her experience, her story of what she's been through, what she's going through right now. And
She's seeing stuff now.
she sees a lot of things. Like, well, what is she seeing?
A lot of stuff happens to her that she sees, and she just like, she ain't gonna mess with it. I mean, she's been seeing stuff.
She says she's enjoying the show, Beatrice.
Oh, thank you.
They say you got a pretty name. Yeah, well, what happened to Abe? Isn't that a pretty name too? No, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding.
Tell Abra
uh,
that he can. Tell Abra that he can go play with the corn on the cob.
oh shit! Commercial time. Brought to you by Corn on the Cob.
That's funny. It looks like
Hey,
Anthony.
hey, Corn on the Cob. I'm waiting for you. Hey, look at my hands. It looks like a female look for Corn on the Cob.
I
Hey,
know.
sexy. He's got blonde hair. Look, I'm waiting for you, Corn on the Cob.
Poor Abra. You know what we used
Oh
to
man.
call? You know what we used to call my brother when we were younger? Should I say? We'll call him Abe the gay blade, just to mess with him. Me and Abram would always fight. Remember? All the time.
Yeah, I got it for Corn on the Cob because he likes trolling. Every night that I do a show, he pops up. So I got his
Yeah, but it's not
boyfriend here.
Jennifer.
It's actually, well, it's the new generation of gender. So this is actually a person, a
That's
corn gender. it's it's a corn gender right here. This is
yeah.
really a person, y'all. 201 corn gender. It's the new species. Man, I hear some noise in the background over there. Sounds like a
Yeah,
cricket.
yeah, she's watching her phone. But yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that's happened. I remember that one time that you and I had gone out. Y'all went to go to pool, and I was upstairs with the kids, and somebody was knocking in the window. Remember that night? And all of a sudden, the smell started smelling weird, like poop.
When I lived in
So,
the other in Acorn Creek,
and it smelled, and then I don't know what I forgot. You know what was wrong with me? I was like got so angry. Remember that night?
oh yeah,
And
that you went off on guy with a broom, started beating him up
I did
with
it
a escoba
with the dustpan. I hit him.
because I went looking for him to get him from where he was at. Right?
But it was somebody was knocking in the window. Somebody was knocking it. How were they knocking? There was no trees or nothing up there. And all of a sudden it just started smelling like poop. Really bad. And I even I could hear stuff, and I even had put the kids with me in the room, and I closed the door and I put something against the door. I don't know, something something like kind of like took over me,
This
Yeah.
is in a different location of Killeen, Texas. I used to live in a down it was at Acorn Creek. It's when I had my two-story. I had a two-story house, and there was a lot of activity there.
And you could hear somebody um like shoveling dirt, like if they were digging for something.
You
And
could hear sometimes
those,
a baby crying out of the chimney.
those
And this
kids.
this house, I seen it get built from the ground up, so it was a brand new home.
And I
But I
remember
guess
in the middle of the day, I was watching, all of y'all were at work, and I was sitting down watching soap operas. The, the kids, uh, and there was, the windows were open and everything. Um, right there where in the middle, where there's like the drain, there's nothing back there. There was a woman all like in a wedding dress walking from back there to the front. And I kept on looking to see where she was going, and she never came out. That was weird. In the middle of the day.
The woman that would come through the fence, through the barbed wire fence, there was had
Yeah,
like a
it was like
dress or something on.
a
You
white,
remember her?
white. Yes, that's her.
We had two windows, one on top of another,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they're two-story. They were big windows, and you could pass her. You could see her coming through the little ravine. It was like a little ravine, but she would come through the fence, and she passed
Yeah,
right by the house. But then by the time she got to the sidewalk, she would disappear.
yeah, well, yeah. In the middle of the day, broad daylight. It looked like a. It didn't. It wasn't a transparent figure. It was just like you and me.
Yeah,
It was
it looked
weird.
like a body of a. It looked literally looked like a regular
Yeah,
person.
yeah, like a regular person. I've never seen.
They had black hair.
I have never seen like when I see like things. Um, they ain't transparent. They look like us, and that they're gone already.
Possible shapeshifter skinwalkers, y'all.
Yeah,
They have those abilities to look real like that. The DDN that I speak of, and demons, they can take manifestations to look real. That's why you have to put it to the spiritual test when you see something like that.
yeah, and
They'll
that
tell you
self.
by the rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. And if it disappears,
Yeah,
smells like sulfur or pestilence, then you know it was something demonic.
and that sulfur smell is nasty. Ain't no joke. We smelled it a whole bunch of times.
Lids that goes, they throw pebbles from outside onto rooftop.
Yeah,
So they wasn't throwing pebbles at us; they were throwing rocks,
rock.
big rocks. Every morning we'll go find rocks on the side of our house, big rocks, and then with a mobile home because it was like aluminum, right? What was it called? The
There were indentions.
indentions all over all over the walls.
Yes.
Some big indentions way on top. And I'm like, man, how did those indentions get there? And it's like those were like 10 foot, 11 foot tall, or possibly 12 foot indentions
Yeah.
on the very top of the mobile home. Uh, I've uh, I've seen logs being thrown. They threw a log. Well, I had put some plants and stuff in the log. But they grabbed that log. Then, the ones that you buy, you place on the ground for decoration. They threw that log through my door and broke my door.
No, yeah, I
And
remember that.
the only person I seen going up the hill on the tractor was that guy Max.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was thinking if he did that or who did that, but he was going up the hill. But our door got broken, like from the bolt, the locks, just it got broken pretty bad. We were like that for a long time with a
Yeah.
broken door where we couldn't. They damaged the door frame real bad. Whoever did that.
Sure.
Do you remember the time that I was outside, sis, and those all those big dogs were around me?
I think, yeah.
That was like
What was
fog.
the fun?
That was like sereno fog, and dogs appeared around me.
Was it back home or was it over
Yeah,
here?
no, at the house at the in Elms Grove.
Sitting down outside
And I was in
in
the
the
yard in the front, and there was dogs around me. There were like I think two or three dogs. that they were real big. What kind of dogs were those?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't look like regular dogs, did they?
I don't know. I didn't see him. I didn't see the dogs. I don't remember you told
You
me.
don't remember you stood by the door and you were like looking at the dogs and you're like, where did they
There was
come
black
from?
ones. Were they black ones?
Yeah, they were big. You remember? And then they were over there by the house, and then they just walked away.
I think I do remember that time. It was just us that was there, the kids.
They're asking
Me
a
and you.
question. Have you be ever seen a UFO?
Oh, when we were younger, I
Go ahead.
remember Abram the because we didn't have no AC or anything. We had a fan, and the fan like kind of messed up. So Abram was trying to fix it, and all of a sudden the light started flickering. TV started turning off and on, and the clock started moving. Then we could hear like a noise, and then the light started flickering. Everything started turning off, and the clock was going fast. And we could hear it was like a zoom over the noise,
We're like
and
boom, boom.
no, it was like a ooh, it was a noise at first, and it was real loud. So we went outside. All of us went outside. Even our neighbors were outside. And on the sky, there was a big old. To me, it looked like a stadium, and there was a light in the middle, and lights all around it, different color lights around it. That there was light in the middle, and it was so far that you could see it. It was huge, and then all of a sudden it went zoom, and it made a real loud, like a real loud noise, and it disappeared, and then everything went back to normal. So I believe that was a UFO because
That was
everybody saw
in
it.
the valley.
Because everybody saw it, you know. But it like broke the barrier and it went fast. It was a real loud noise, and it just disappeared. And
I
that was
was
the
seeing
only,
activity like that.
that was the only
What
time that I saw that.
the only time you ever seen like a UFO? Uh, how about um any more questions here? Let's see.
Never said. She just heard Eli call her name, and he's asleep next to her.
So let's pray. Let's pray for uh for Jenny and Eli and for everything for everybody, all the family members and everybody, all the viewers. Heavenly Father, I would like to pray right now for all the viewers, for Jenny, Eli, my sister B, all the children, my family. Uh, we take authority over anything unclean or negative that's trying to afflict any division or chaos. We tie, bound, and rebuke you in Jesus Christ's name. We take authority over you. You're not allowed. Be gone. You're not welcomed. It's a pray in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Uh, I would like to also place heavenly crosses on all of us from head to toe as we place heavenly crosses on our doorways and our windows. We tie, bind, and rebuke any unclean spirit or any witchcraft or necromancy at this time. We tie, bind, and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Mhm. Yeah, y'all saw one too. Did it look like that? It looked like a big old, like a football stadium. It was really round. It was big and round. But that's the only one that I saw. Did you see any more?
Yeah,
Maybe
I've seen one there in the valley. It was real
that one.
cloudy that night, and I could see some lights, and they were just passing back and forth, and it was breaking the sound barrier. It was going like boom,
Yeah, yeah.
boom, boom,
It was
and
big. Like
it's
a
like it came out in the
like
newspaper. I
yeah.
think it came out in the
Yeah.
newspaper
A lot
that
of
they said
people
that
saw it that night. A
that the
lot of people saw
UFO
it
was spotted in Braymonville, Texas, in Willacy County. It was moving so fast that it was breaking the sound barrier. Boom,
And yeah, when it
boom,
moved.
boom.
So when I
Yeah,
saw it, it was still, and then when it went, it took off fast,
fast.
disappeared. Yeah, like a V.
Yeah, like a V.
Um, you know,
The one I
the one that
seen
I
would look like a
like.
V, but it was
Uh,
like a spaceship,
yeah,
but like a V. The one I
yeah.
seen, she seen
The one that
something
I saw
different.
looked like a it looked like a football stadium. It was big. It was big. But but it had that light coming down in the middle, like it was. I don't know. It was weird.
I remember an incident that happened there in Raymondville where when I woke up, we were all standing on the curbs. All the people were on both sides of the
Yeah.
streets. Were standing on the curb, right?
Mhm.
And I'm looking, and everybody's like in a hypnotic state. And I freak out, and I go inside the house, and I go hide underneath the blankets because I got scared, you know.
It
And,
froze.
and then I seen something come inside the house, and it's got something over its head, and it's got a long tail. It kind of looked like a what people call a reptilian,
A
and it
reptile.
was moving real slow. It was big, like it was looking, and then it went outside. When it went outside, it's kind of like everybody snapped out of the trance-like thing, and people woke up in the middle by the curbs and just looking at each other, and then they all came back inside. They don't even know how they got out there. I seen that once, and then I seen it again near the railroad tracks,
Yeah.
where this reptilian thing was on top of there was a train,
Mhm.
and people were lined up loading up stuff onto the train, and that reptilian thing was
Was on the top.
on top of the train. Like it had everybody like in a hypnotic state, you know.
Really? It wouldn't move.
That's what that's what I witnessed in Raymondville by the railroad tracks. You know, for some reason I could see these things. You know,
Yeah.
but that's only two times that I witnessed this. Well, of course, the one the encounter I had in Elms Grove, but I'm thinking that they could be demonic in nature. You know, but they do have some control over the population, over people that.
I do. I mean, I think at that time there was a lot of people. I mean, everywhere that would see stuff like that, like UFOs and stuff. At that time, you know, I do believe they're out there. They do exist.
Well, the V I'm talking about, it looked like a spaceship, but like it was like this,
Hey,
and then in the back you could see something in the back, but it would look like a spaceship, you know, like something out of you ever play Stargate or Defender? How the little spaceship looks
yeah,
like a V, well, kind of like that, but it was
that's
pretty
right.
big. It wasn't. It was pretty big for its size. You know, it was huge. Any more questions, brothers and sisters? Whoever's just tuning in, because my sister is not a night owl. She gets tired.
Yeah.
You know me, I can keep on going, yo. Uh, this person said one day I look at my ex and I saw a demon. Then it was him again.
Oh my God. Hey, that happens.
You're welcome. Go. Tell him the time that you remember the time that we ran into the big fish Oh,
Kids.
we're in the green station, right? No, you don't remember that because you were too young. How about the when the truck was following us, Beatrice? Do you remember that?
When we
The
had
dirt
gotten
road.
lost.
Yeah.
When we had
Tell
gotten
them the
lost.
story. Tell them the story. How it happened.
And I think
Do
we
you
were going
remember?
back. Were we going back home or were we going up north? Something. I don't
We're coming
remember.
back home.
Okay, that we stopped at a store. It was a little store,
That
and
the
out of
that
middle of nowhere, they gave us directions, so we went that
the
way.
DPS. Remember, it was on the road.
I
Or
remember a
sheriff.
bit, and he gave us directions, said for us to go that way, so we went that way. It was just like it was a dirt road in middle of nowhere, and somebody started following us. I was small, I remember, and I was small, and my dad was driving like really fast, trying to get away. And I remember
They get those
that,
spotlights.
yeah, and I remember there was this house. There was like a 2, 3 story house that the all the windows were broken, and there was like a like a
Le-
wood that there was a
Lechusa.
noose. Yeah, there was a lot of those, but there was that thing had a noose on it, and we kept on going, and they kept on following us until we made it
Lech,
out of there.
they
And I
had a
remember
lechusas. Remember all the lechusas that were on there?
that they were right there, yeah, in
They
that
came
house.
at us and they started hitting the station wagon.
I remember.
They were trying to hit us off the road, and we had a big truck with headlights, just the high beams hitting us, trying to hit
Mhm.
us in the back, and the lechusas, dark, they were black lechusas, trying to hit us on the side of the station wagon. They were scratching on top of the
I
hood,
was,
and my mom was praying. They told us to stay in the middle of the station wagon.
yeah, I was small. I remember parts and pieces, but I remember. I remember the house. I remember the house, and there was a lot of those reclusas. I don't know how you say it in English, but there was a lot of them in that
Somebody says,
house.
"So, do you know how to get rid of the owls always coming to your bedroom window?"
The owls.
Lechusas. Are you
There's
talking
almost
about owls or lechusas?
not owls. Reclusas aren't owls.
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out what they're talking about. Because owls is owls, and you got lechusas. Lechusas is supposed to be a manifestation of a witch, kind of like a harpy, but it's they're big,
I know
they're
that's the one
black.
that I saw hovering over on the tree when I was laying down in the picnic table. That sucker was big. Uh-oh.
They're pretty massive. They're big. If you see them flying in the sky and they look big in the sky, imagine when they land the ground. So the big the lechusas we're talking about, they're probably like 9 to 10 feet tall. That's big. And owls normally, like here in Texas, the Texas owls are normally like probably 4 and a half feet, or four and a half feet high, a regular owl. But this is not owls. This is what they call a lechuza. They're pretty big. They're color black. So some people believe that owls symbolize protection and change.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. Lechuzas, I don't, lechuzas, if you whistle at them, they'll come after you, man. They'll attack you. They'll come to your house
But
till
there's a difference owls and
they get a
reclusas.
hold of you.
It's not the same thing.
No, you see, a lechuza is different than an owl.
Yeah,
They're pretty big. The lechuzas. There's some white ones and there's some black ones. They said that the white ones are the
the
white
good one.
witches, and the black ones are the black witches.
Yeah. Yeah. And then and some of the reclusas I remember, I think there was a face on one of them that was an old lady's face. That big, as big as this
Yeah,
house.
no, don't whistle at them because you whistle at them, they'll come
They'll
to you.
follow. Yeah,
They'll follow you. They'll follow you till they get a hold of you. Once they get a hold of you, you're gonna wind up with a
big old scratch.
scratch on the face.
I'll follow her around.
Uh,
Excuse me.
what was that commercial back in the day? They want to see how many licks you can get to the center of the Tootsie Tootsie Roll Pop, the owl from the what was the name of the Tootsie Roll lollipop?
Oh, pop, yeah. Wow. Can you see owls are because it's trying to
To
warn you
warn
of
you of
something.
something.
Yeah.
It possibly could be. The owls that make the hoot sound.
Yeah.
They'll go. "Ooh, ooh, ooh." That's an owl. The lechuzas don't do that.
They
The
do. They
lechuzas
make
will
the,
make a.
the
I will make the
bells.
sound. Is like a last time I made a sound and activity happened here. Lechuzas sound like this, and if they land near your home, they start making the sounds with their talons, or they're scratching their talons.
Yeah.
But if you're getting tired, just let me know and I'll let you go and see. But if you're good, you know, if you're getting sleepy,
Yeah.
anybody have any more questions for my sister? Because I know she's getting tired. She's not a night person.
Yeah. And I didn't even take a nap today.
So I've seen two massive owls that were huge. Yes, a bad omen. Yeah. But if you have
But it
to
was.
go, since you want to say farewells to the audience, thank you
Yeah. Well,
for coming and joining us here tonight. They've been waiting uh, for you to come on live with us. And if y'all like my sister uh, to come back again another time, we'll have you back another time because I
huh?
know you're normally asleep right now.
Yeah. I'm already a little bit tired and my back's hurting. But
Somebody said, "Have you seen Dia de los Muertos lady?" I think they're talking about the Santa Muerte.
Santa Muerte. I don't think. No.
La Llorona. Tell them about the Llorona before
La
you go.
Llorona. La
Remember that
Llorona.
night? That
She
day at the house over there?
stood right in front of the door. You could hear her crying, waiting,
Who's the one
crying.
that woke you all up about the Llorona? It was me, remember? I was running.
Yeah. And she stood right in the front door.
You seen her when she passed by the window?
Yeah. And
What was she wearing?
a white dress.
And a veil, right?
Mm-hmm. And then
How was
after
the sound
that,
that she was making, sis? In the front
fine. It
door. How did you?
sounded ugly. So you closed the door and the door was open. Remember?
Yeah, the door, our
It
front door was open,
was
and I
open
closed
to
the
the
door.
spot. And neighbor closed the door.
When I closed the door, she stood right in front of the door.
And she was still
It,
crying. But then she left. And then, like, not even an hour later,
she
that
went through
old the
she went
fence
through the front because it was raining, and she went through the link fence, and then went up the hill, and you hear boom like a
already.
big accident, a wreck.
That was, that was when that old man died. Remember? And every time right there, somebody would die because you would hear her. Yeah,
There was remember the time that the 16-wheeler flipped over in the same location,
the same
and that the
location.
man they were asking him, "Are you drinking?" And I said,
I
"No, I just I
saw
I
that.
I, I dodged, I moved my truck because there was a woman in white that passed in front of the vehicle." and he ran into the gas station. It was an Exxon. They flipped the 16-wheeler.
Oh,
Said
you're
that
welcome.
the woman in white passed right in front of him.
Yeah, it was creepy. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
Any story that you might think of that something to live them with a for next time. Something.
Oh,
What was the scariest thing that you witnessed in Elms Grove before you go? Was it that day that the woman was crying?
yeah, because it sounded so ugly.
That was the scariest thing
You know,
because
shadows
I mean,
and stuff. Uh, that the way she was yelling. You know,
somebody say
the
you creeped me out. I had to shut the door right now
yeah, but the door was open
because
when
you
we
see,
did it, and it
in
was
the
so
River
loud.
Valley it was so hot, right? So we didn't have no ceiling fans
We only
or
had
just the windows.
fan,
We would just open the doors, leave them open at night so the air could come in
and it
to
wasn't
keep the
even
house
locked.
fresh.
Yeah, yep, and it stood right in front of the door. We're in
I
a
closed
white
it
dress.
right in front of her, right, and she's like,
Yep.
"Stop." I closed it,
And
and she was right there coming around, and I closed it right in front of her. She was going to try to come inside the house, the Llorona,
it creepy.
and she just stood right there in front of the door crying. And
Yep,
I
it
was
sounded.
like, at first my mom said, "Huerco pendejo, there's no Llorona." Then she seen her pass by the window. I closed the door, and then I said, "Mom, do you want me to let her in?" And she's like, "Puerco pendejo." She started praying the Our She was like, "Ay Maria
Yeah,
Purísima." She was praying and praying, you know.
uh,
Uh, it was crazy, man.
I think, and that wasn't the only time that we heard her. We heard her several times.
Yeah, several times.
Yeah, but
The time
okay,
that
guys.
yeah. But
Yeah.
you can say your farewell, sis, and
Well,
thank you for joining and making this happen for the members here of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. You know who she is. She came out with me on Terror in the Woods season 3 episode 2. As my
yeah.
sister B, they came out on the show with me. I know
Well,
people
thank
have been
you.
requesting her, and I
I
brought her.
will. I'll
All
come
right,
back.
sis.
All right.
Okay,
Good night.
bye,
Love
sis.
you.
Have a good night.
Good
Love
night.
you too.
What I do?
Just hit
How
the
do I?
X something.
Oh, okay. Good night, guys. You're welcome. I'll come back.
There you go, brothers and sisters. No, there was a little bit of static, stuff like that, but uh, at least she showed up to say what she had to say. Uh, yeah, we've been through a lot. Me and my sister, we stuck together. You know, like when I live in Acorn Creek, and then when I moved to Elms Grove, she was having some problems, you know, with her marriage, and she came and lived with me. So that's why she experienced the same things that I experienced. I'm a type of person that I like helping out my family. You know, that's what I do. That's what I like to do. But it's just sometimes when you're going through a lot of things, other family members not going to understand what you're going through, especially if they're not living there. The only ones that could understand what you're going through is the ones that are residing with you. But for a time there was nobody residing with me. Where it was just me and my son. Where I experienced, I think that my sister might have already been there, but I experienced some things before my sister moved in with me. Then she started experiencing things too. At first, she would say maybe it's my brother. He's a veteran. Maybe it's the meds that he's giving him and this and that. Which, believe it or not, they tried to do an intervention on me, my own family. Till my sister started witnessing the things that I was witnessing, and then it's like, oh, he's saying the truth. And that's when she figured out that what I was saying was the truth. And then my other brother and sisters, it's like they really didn't want to come over to see what was going on because they were living their own lives, which that's understandable. You know, it's kind of like this. This is where I created Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. just to let you know that if somebody else don't believe you, I believe you because I've been through those experiences. I see a lot of the comments people say here, and if somebody has understanding, wisdom, and knowledge of this unseen forces, will be me, my sister, people that have gone through it will be able to relate to what you're going through. You know, I've seen some of the comments that people were placing here where there were certain things that were dealing with shadows and with owls and lechuzas. I believe you because we've witnessed it. We've experienced it. Is what was one of those phenomenons that happened that if you don't got the camera with you, which normally when these things happen, you might not have a camera, or at that time we didn't have the technology that we have now. But now with the technology that we do have, we might be able to capture something through a disembodied voice or possibly something moving. We have cameras in front of our homes that we might be able to see some kind of movement, you know, and then they got trail cams and stuff like that. But gotta be careful because there is a lot of people out there that are being fraudulent. They're hoaxing. They're hoaxers, and some of the things that I see, a lot of the footage is staged. The reason I say it's staged because I've seen the manifestations that these demonic beings do, how they look. That's why I compare them. You know, when somebody talks to me about a Bigfoot or a dogman or a werewolf, I already know what it is. It's just a manifestation that demons take. Just like the day that that demon was trying to wish me trying to get me to follow it and that it would give me the whole world. He told me that when he passed, that he could change into any form he wanted to. He said I could have changed it to a lion, you know. So just to tell you that they have the ability to change it to anything. Why would they change it to a lion or to an animal that vicious, right? For the fear factor. So if I think those girls that were frozen because they got scared, and he said he was gonna, like my sister said, he was gonna take one of them, and that's why I fought spiritually because they were vulnerable because the opening they had was fear. Yeah, I've seen the other muerte you're talking about. I've seen the one there's one that's dressed all in white, and it's not the Llorona. The way you know it's a muerte is because it's elevated off the ground and it looks like somebody's moving sticks. So it's not sticks that are being moving; it's the bones of because it's all bones. I've witnessed that one, but it was all dressed in white. It was elevated off the ground when she was passing by. The dogs were howling real ugly when she was passing by down the middle of the street. So I witnessed her, and that wasn't the Llorona. It was just uh, a la muerte, you know, or death. And then you have believe it or not, because they all come from the same source. La muerte can manifest to look like a person too. Death can manifest to look like a person too. I had an experience where I was at a dance. I've been dancing with different women, you know, all night long because I was single. So there was this lady just looking at me. She was just looking at me, and I want to ask her if she would like to dance. No, I figured that's what she was looking at me. So I go get up and we go dancing. And when we're dancing, I noticed something. It's like I could not feel no meat on her. The only thing I could feel was bones. And when I'm dancing with her, I can feel nothing but bones, like no meat, no just bones. And I go and I ask her, "Thank you for the dance." And she tells me, this is what she tells me: "I've been keeping an eye on you for a very long time." And then she said, "Till we'll meet again." And she walked out. But I knew that it was a real woman because when I danced with her, it's like she had no body mass. I could feel nothing but bones. So that right there by itself is like was freaked me out. Well, I think that person always comes in here and he's always trying to say things so you can repeat it. So I know who it is already. It's Corn on the Cob commercial time. Happy birthday, Corn on the Cob. How you doing? When you gonna send Brother Abe your address so I can get shipped to you? Yeah, it's like Tejano is you have to grab your partner to dance. It's like ballroom dancing. So I'm out there ballroom dancing with her, making her do spins, and all I'm feeling is bones. And I look at her body and I could see flesh, but I'm feeling nothing but bones. That's all I'm feeling. And I wasn't drunk. I was that night. I wasn't even drinking that much. So it was one of those things that is like, what the hell? What the hell is this? Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Corner the Cub, send me your address so I can hook you up. I know it was been you been trolling. I got you, man. This is my gift to you from Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. To where do you want me to mail it to? To your abnormal investigation address? Or this is for you, man. You can do whatever you want to do with it. Since you like coming here disrespecting my site, at least I'm gifting you something. Send me your address so I can mail it to you. Yeah, I was dancing, ballroom dancing, and all I'm doing when I'm doing the spins and everything, all I'm feeling is bones. And I look and I see that she has flesh, but it's all nothing but bones. It's like when her body is moving, it's nothing but bones. You know what I'm saying? No, she was like a woman that probably weighed like 165 pounds, 170 pounds. Like 160, 165, possibly 180. She was an older woman, but when I danced with her, all I was feeling was bones, and that freaked me out right there. And I stood away from her, and she was looking at me. We were really like, I guess I could feel what she was really about. That's what she told me. She told me I've been keeping an eye on you for a very long time, and then she said till we'll meet again, and give me a little smirk. Yeah, they're out there. There's demons. They're out there infiltrating. That's what they do. They can manifest to look like anybody. They can manifest to look like corn on the cob. No, they can look like corn on the cob. Stephen, Michael. They can manifest to look like like anyone or anybody. That's what they do. They have those abilities. Yeah. Uh, Goat feet, hoofs. They got hoofs. The hoof sound is. I've been the area I go investigate. I want to go investigate like 3 in the morning, and I went in there in the woods, and I think I ran into a banshee because it made this screeching sound at me, and I just started praying, and I walked out of there. So I'm finishing my live, and then I could hear hoofs running towards me on the pavement but in the parking lot. I mean, you could hear the hoofs, "Grr, grr, 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 grr," and it sounded louder as it coming towards me. And as it getting close to me, I say, "I type binary rebuke in Jesus Christ name," and they stop. So I get in my car, I drive home, and I park the vehicle. As I'm walking to the front of the house, I could hear the hoof marks running down the street real fast. Da, 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 da. And then they start running on the sidewalk towards me, and I get in, close the door real fast. And I said, I type on the rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. Whatever it was coming after me. He was trying to come after me. And I was able to catch what happened to the door. When I heard the hoof marks, when I closed it, something came and hit the door. So you see, he was trying to get power by me, like if it was trying to scare me to get power over me. So I didn't give it the power, so it couldn't grow, but it still made impact with my sliding with my front door. It hit the front door, which you could hear like it something hit it. No, not that kind of bone, Hunter. I'm talking about ballroom dancing. You have space in between you and your partner. It's not like you're all hugged up. You're sliding and you got space in between. I'm saying with my hand, when I'm moving around, it's like her body is nothing but bone, and her legs when she's hitting my legs because your one of your legs is in between when you're sliding. I could feel nothing but bone. It was like I was dancing with a skeleton. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, when I fought in Elms Grove, I fought all throughout all hours of the night, and I even fought during the day. It's like that's why it's kind of like I hardly get any sleep at nighttime. It's like imagine you're trying to go to sleep and you hear banging on your walls, boom, 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 and then you ignore it and you're trying to go to sleep, and then you hear kids laughing at three something in the morning around your home, and you're like, no, I'm not gonna go outside because this has happened before. When every time I go, there's nobody out there. Then the dogs start barking and you start hearing noises on top, like somebody's running. That's okay. Let me go outside. Let me get my holy water, my salt, and my items of pure natural stuff to go fight spiritually. So there I go. I'll do the sign of the cross and I'll go fight their shadow figures. And I'll catch to somebody voices right off the bat. I walk outside and start fighting spiritually, protecting my home. Start blessing the house around the house. Put salt around the house. So nothing will be able to enter my home, you know. But that's what would happen there in Elms Grove. Uh, my screen windows was always getting ripped off, like they were trying to come in my home. Sliding door got messed up by them. They messed up my sliding door. Yeah, it's just a lot of things would happen. Yeah. Uh, how my sister was saying that she would see them in the park by the trees. Yeah, they would be in the trees themselves, and they would pick around behind the trees, and they'll be pretty tall. And sometimes they'll be behind you, like beside you, but they move real fast. It's shadow figures. They would be like a blur. Yeah, Renner. No, I seen you joke about the bone. That it was probably the bone, but she had more bones than I did. More bone than I did, because that's all I could feel was bones. Her body, you know, I couldn't feel no meat, like no muscle or nothing, just bone. But then when she looked at me and she said, "I've been keeping an eye on you for a very long time," and she gave me a smile. then I already knew that because they had to identify themselves that it was something either dealing with death or something demonic. Yes, but I believe you, Angel. Things that I would hear tappings, three tappings on the window. The it sounds like a beak of a bird hitting your window. Like the beak. So okay, I'm gonna ignore it. It's just my imagination. Following day comes. It's not a tapping sound no more. It's a knock, 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 knock. Same spot. I said I'm gonna ignore it. It's just coincidental that I heard three tappings and I heard three knocks. Following day comes and you hear boom, boom, boom. If you don't want it to get worse than that, well, then you gotta protect your home, right? You gotta take authority or whatever it is and say, hey, welcome here, leave. Or when you hear the tapping sounds, type on rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. Welcome here, leave. Because if you don't do nothing about it, then it's just gonna grow and grow and grow and grow till because it wants to take over your foundation, your household, or try to affect your family. Can't be afraid. You have to take authority over it in Jesus Christ's name. Yeah, my sister never saw the dog man or the werewolf when he was manifesting to the werewolf, but one of my nephews has seen it with me. He's seen it with me. Uh, that we chased it down the street. A lot of things that they will see because I would protect my house was just the things that were trying to come around, which was the shadow figures. I'm talking about 15, 20 strong trying to come towards a home and trying to infiltrate a home that I was fighting spiritually. There was times that would come in the house, you know, uh, even though the house was protected, there was they would come in through the sliding door. They had the abilities to open a sliding door, to open a front door. Then when you see them leaving, they're not even touching the ground. They're elevated off the ground, but they have the imagine how dangerous they are. This shadow beings or demonic beings, whatever they are, DDN, that can open and close a sliding door. They can open your front door if it's unlocked and come in your house. Now that's dangerous, right? They have that ability. If they can move or open, that means they can make physical contact with you also. And then of course they can go through the walls or through the doors in spirit form. They don't have to do that. It's good that you're doing there, praying and putting salt around your home to protect your home. I would fight spiritually because it wasn't just about me. I had to protect my son. I had to protect everybody that lived in the house with me, which was my nephews and nieces. It was let me see, my sister has 4 boys and 1 girl. So, I had to protect them also, and they were all young at the time when all this was happening. And my son was young too. He was the youngest. So then my nephew had his son and he was the youngest in the household. So I had to protect everybody in the household. As that was my house, so it's my responsibility to protect, and not just the people from the home, but my neighbors. And if I seen somebody going towards near the park area where I witnessed this demonic spirits or that were in werewolf like form, uh, I would tell them, hey, can't don't come here too much. If you want to go play on the other side, because that area was the hot area where this dark shadow being was trying to lure the kids into the woods. Calling them to go over there down the path. It was trying to lure them in there, possibly try to take them. So it's kind of like after that, I was just looking out for everybody. To make sure that there wasn't lured or anything like that. You just people don't understand why I did that because my son got lured into the woods, in which I was glad I was able to find him. So I don't want, because you could say I became the protector of my home and that area because I knew what was there, right? Yes, Alista Machinery, I will. I'll tell her she was tired because she's not used to being up at nighttime, but she said she would do it with me. She was doing good, and then she just got tired. So, but at least she came on the show. See, there's a lot of people that don't like me talking about the spiritual aspect of things, especially people, the warlocks, the witches, cults, and people that are in power right now that are wicked people because they believe in other things like Moloch, and they have the unclean spirits of perversion, of pedophiles, and there's people that are in power in the White House right now. I've prayed for President Trump here numerous times, and I will continue to pray for him because I was showed spiritually by the Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, to pray for him, and I have been praying for him. So, of course, when you do that, you get targeted. What part of Arizona are you from, Angel? Somebody needs prayer. Who needs prayer here? I see somebody put Cynthia, but I don't see no Cynthia here. What part of California? I have my brother lives in San Diego, California. One of my brothers, he was in the Navy, and he stayed up there. He's been living over there for a while now, for a lot of years. Oh, okay. But I'm glad y'all tuned in. I try my best to put it out there. I didn't wake up till like three something. I contacted my sister if she wanted to do the live with me, and then she said yes. So when I placed out that I was going to do a live with her, I placed it out at a certain time. So to see if people were gonna, you know, s- come in and tune in, and we had a pretty good turnout. By Sacramento. Yeah, I used to go. Train in the military. I go to Fort Orange, California, to train at NTC, National Training Center. So I've seen UFO activity out there at the National Training Center when I was in the military. The UFO out there wasn't that big, but it had different colors, like 8 different colors, and it was doing a figure eight, like right there. So it was kind of like putting a show for us, right? So I'm thinking, I was talking to my TCU because in the tank we're a 4-man crew. Ain't that weird that it's doing a figure eight right there in front of us? I said, do you think that's the government messing with us? Yeah, they know we're here because they see us through the radar we are here. So do you think maybe they're messing us with some kind of new technology that they have? And they say it's a possibility. So we're seeing it doing a figure eight. Then it goes real fast. And it goes straight up into the atmosphere, like shoots straight up, like with super speed that like if you would have counted to 1,001, 1,002, by 1,000, not even 1,003, 1,001, 1,002, it was gone. Like like one, two, it was gone. So I don't know. I don't think that was our technology. I believe that was a UFO, and it was doing a figure eight. So could it possibly have been an angel? Infinity would stand for the figure eight, and I also know the figure eight when somebody does something bad to you, the 7 times fold on the eighth day, something normally happens to the people that come up against you spiritually. So the number eight to me would be like I don't know. It's just like certain things happen on the eighth day. But whatever that was, was just messing with us, and then he just took off real fast. I seen that in Fort Ord, California. And we lost corn on the cob. I guess he didn't like the. I'm still waiting for you to send me your address, corn on the cob, so I can send a gift for you all the way from Texas. I lost him. I don't know. He's here with a fake profile right now. Angels. You gotta remember one thing that Lucifer was called the angel of light. So he has the ability to do that too. That's why you can't believe in what you're seeing. Because if you believe in what you're seeing, then that could be a spiritual opening. Corn on the cob with roaches. I'm telling you, there's a gift from me to you, corn on the cob, for spiritually encrypted encounters. You can share with your friends that are affiliated with you. Hi, there's corn on the cob at. Oh man. Corn on the cob and the roaches, eh? Is that he comes here, trolls me every time. I know he's still here. It's got even hair for him and everything. Look, this is my donation to the AI Abnormal Investigation. Uh, Stephen Michael McGee, aka Corn the Cob, aka Damon Peterson. I want to donate this to you for spiritually encrypted encounters. Can make a stew with this, man. You can boil it, butter it up, and do whatever you want to do with it. Eat it, share it, whatever you want to do with it. My sister felt sorry for the guy. She said she would put a little thing of butter for him. With Buddy Rogers. Yeah, that guy got sugar in his tank big time. The Roger guy. I heard him speaking the way he was speaking, and it's like, man, that guy definitely belongs in the rainbow community. He's got no shred of manhood in him. If he was in the NFL team, he'll be a wide receiver. If Corner Cobb played football, he wouldn't be a tight end. Yeah, there will be he'll be called a loose end. Man. Sponsored by Corner the Cobb. Keep on trolling. I'll keep on making fun of you, Corner the Cobb. No, I'm gonna make that to make a stew, man. Now, unless you want a Corner the Cobb, you got it. Just send me your address. I'll mail it to you, man. All the way from Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, buddy. Yeah, they come in here. They were trying to disrespect my sister, and thank you to the moderators putting them out. Till he finally got tired. He seen the corn, and it's like, come in here, it's corn on the cob. He didn't like that. Or we can give this corn on the cob to his psychotic friend, the wicked one, Dana Ortega. She can have this corn on the cob too. I don't care. I'll send a corn on the cob to every one of every little cult, so everybody can have fun. Dang. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. My sister, she was happy. It was, I've been asking her. She's been busy and she's been going through a lot of things. That's one thing when you go through those experiences. It's like those things tend to try to affect your life. That's why you have to learn about how to fight spiritually, not to be afraid. Place Jesus Christ first to be able to fight against them. It's kind of like once you've been through it or you brushed against it, then it's like the veil has been lifted for you, and you're able to see what's around you in spirit, whether it's something that's good spirit and or something that's an unclean spirit. You're it's upon you. It's you're never the same again when you experience something dealing with a balance. Your life changes forever. So don't feel like you stand alone in this. I'm here with y'all. Y'all can always contact me through Messenger, Bea Sias. I believe you that you are somebody special. We all have spiritual gifts. We're all spiritually blessed through the Heavenly Father, and He loves every single one of us. The only thing I can tell you is have a relationship with Him, and when you run into a situation, call upon Him so He can come and assist you spiritually. Like I said, you don't stand alone. He says, how do you tell your brothers and sisters, how do they expect me to help them if they don't open the doors or the windows for me? If they don't allow me in their hearts, in their foundation? And that's true, right? If we don't go into prayer, call for Him to assist us, how is He going to listen to our prayers if we don't even have a relationship with us, a relationship with Him, right? How you doing, brother Frank Patterson? We are on blackout for the past month. Sorry to hear that. So they'll be throwing a corner cup in a dozer pit. Yeah, we witnessed a lot of things all our life. Thank you, Sister uh, Cynthia. I believe that's what your name is. I'm not a preacher, but when I was going through everything that was happening in her family, the priesthood wanted a the priesthood wanted me to be a priest when I was 17 years old. They wanted me to be a priest. They wanted to take me in the Catholic priesthood. And I asked them a question. I said, if I join you, can you help my brothers and sisters too? They said no. So I said, well, then I can't join you. And I didn't. Uh, I was working two jobs, sisters. I was actually I started working at the age of 16. From 16 years old, we was already working before that in the fields at a younger age, like 8, 9 years old. Uh, but legitly worked two jobs to support my brothers and sisters, and I had a scholarship to go to Kerrville, Texas, Shriner College, but I couldn't. I had a paid 4 years paid scholarship to go and be run for them for cross country, but I had to take care of my brother and sister, so I let that go. Once my other sister, that's between me and B, she got married and she took my younger brother and sister. Then that's when I joined the military, and I went into the military. Yes, I helped out a lot of people. I went to, I believe, like three different retreats where there was a lot of teenagers like me that had problems, that went through something and they were trying to find answers. You know, I can share one of the stories with you. One of the guy that was my roommate at the time. Uh, when you think about Freddy Krueger, well, that's how he looked because all his body was burnt. Like 90 something percent of his body had burnt, and he said that he hated God. And asked him why. He said, "Look at me," and he said, "It's his fault that I look like this." He said, "Nobody's gonna love me. Look at me." So he went outside, and I seen him playing on the swing set out there at the. It was where at the San Juan Alamo. It's called the Virgen de San Juan Church. That's where we had the retreat. So I'll go out there with him, and I'm there. I say, "Hey, man, say I know you're mad because what happened to you, and I'm sorry what happened to you, and I shared my story of what happened to me. And then I was like, so can I ask you a question? I said, sure. So what made you, I mean, how did it happen? He said, well, we was in a bonfire. It was for our senior year, we had a bonfire, and it started raining, and they told us the bonfire was canceled. So I was drinking, I was getting drunk, and in my mind, I got a thought to go get some gasoline. So I got two 5-gallon jugs of gasoline, and I said, he said that he went back to where the bonfire was, which there was no flames or nothing because of the rain, and the rain had stopped. And he said he got on top of the bonfire, and he already poured a whole thing of gasoline in there. And he said when he was on top of the thing that he just seen a spark come up, and the one he had in his hand exploded in his hand. He fell into the center of the bonfire. So he said he's in there and he sees his chair and there's fire all around him, and he smashes his way out of there. So when he smashes his way out of there, he said he sees his friend is on fire and his girlfriend is on fire, and he's putting them out. He puts them out, and then they're pointing at him, and his whole body is on fire. So he's rolling on the ground, and they put him out. I said, okay. I said, that's crazy how that happened. Then I asked him, can I ask you a question? So sure. What what made you drink the beer? I said, well, I was pissed off. I said, okay, so you were pissed off and that's why you drank the beer. What made you go buy the gasoline? He said, well, I wanted to buy the gasoline because I was mad. And I said, when you were up there and you're pouring the gasoline, how did that happen? Well, I wanted to do it because I wanted to show my school, my school that I was going to be the hero of starting up the bonfire for my school. Said, okay. So, and you say you blame God? He said, yes, I blame him. How can you blame him if it was all you? And he's just like, you answer all the questions that it was about I. That's a decision that you made. Then he's like, you know what? I never thought about it like that. And I told him, look, it's not the way you look, it's what's in here. And I know you got a good heart. He said, but look how I look. It doesn't matter how you look, it's about what's in here that counts. That retreat. He met a girl, and the girl liked him. And like a year later, they wound up getting married. And he just changed completely as an individual. It's like I had to, touch his heart to let him know to get that anger out, you know, and he found love. He was angry at the Heavenly Father, right? But it was him that did it to himself. But once he found out that it was him, then he got his faith back with the Heavenly Father. We prayed that night. True story. You're welcome, Cynthia. Oh yeah, he found love, and then he found a girl that showed him love. That's how the Heavenly Father works. I helped out a lot of people there. There was another female. There was a female there that she was crying, and she would always say that she wished she was never born. She's like, "Look at me, I'm ugly," and all this stuff. And she's like, "I hate my parents." And I was telling her, "You were born here for a reason. You're a good person." And I told her the same thing. It's not how you look out here; it's what's in your heart. And she also found somebody to love her for what's in her heart. See, it's not about the looks or anything like that. It's about within the person's heart. I helped out like a lot of people there. There was one that had a spirit of how should I say? He got kicked out of there. He had a spirit of perversion where he ran, but he was it's a church facility. He was running butt naked down the hallway, and they're like, we can't have that here. They sent him home. So you know, spiritual warfare is very real. When I see the people, like, for example, the LGBT community, the trans and all that, those kind of people, they're being spiritually bonded. You know, they're truly being spiritually bonded. They're being deceived, but you know, I can only do so much for individuals. I had met a guy they had 1 week to leave, 1 week to live. He was a homosexual. I met a friend. She worked for the hospice, and all these people that were fixing to die, they had a week to live because they had AIDS. She would bring them over and throw parties for them because it was their last week to live, and I would talk to them spiritually. And, I'll tell them, hey, it's never too late. You can ask God for forgiveness. We can repent. We can pray right now, but then next thing you know that they're gone, because they had like a week to live. Yes. So, forgiveness is part of love. Uh, when Jesus Christ was on the cross, he said, uh, Father, please don't forsake them. They don't know what they do. All the people that are around them, they didn't know what they were doing. You know why? That means that all the people that are around him when he was on the cross were being demonized. They're being possessed. That's what he says. Please don't forsake them because they don't know what they do. Because the demons were in charge of those individuals, possessing them, having full control over them. That's why he said, don't forsake them. They don't know what they do. And we see that a lot now. Look at the government, our government we have. We see it within the government, the people in charge. It's around us. But if you have faith, true faith, forgiveness, you got forgiveness. You don't have, if you can forgive, then that's how generational curses travel. Should I say the demons, right? Through unforgiveness, or you have to make your spiritual stand just in case somebody in your family from before made some kind of idiotic deals with something. You said, no, that was them. I'm my own person. I'm cutting the generational curse, right? Generational curses sometimes jump from generation to another generation. So you have to make your spiritual stance not to protect yourself and to protect your next of kin. But forgiveness is very important because when you forgive, there's no hatred, there's no anger, there's no vengeance, there's no fear, there's no other belief but believing in Jesus Christ, in which the demons from the generation of curses have no more authority over you or have nothing that they can come up against you because through forgiveness and the love foundation, Jesus Christ, the Heavenly Father, blesses you with the spiritual gift of discernment for forgiving, because forgiveness is part of love, and that's how you grow spiritually. He teaches you that way. And the unseen forces that are around us, they have to identify themselves to you through spiritual law. If they have a possession of a person, they're going to say something to you that only you know. That's when you know that person is being spiritually bonded or possessed by something. And as a spiritual warrior or through your love foundation, you're going to go and assist that person and free them from that bondage and pray for them. Say, God bless you. I love you. Those are the things I don't like. God bless you. I love you. Or I type and rebuke you in Jesus Christ's name. Leave this vessel, leave this man alone or woman alone. They flee. When you bring Jesus Christ into the equation, once they flee, the person is back to normal. And as they're normal, you're able to talk to them and you try to find out what's happening in their life. They'll tell you maybe they're on the bad road or something happens. So that's when you go into prayer, tell them to repent for their sins, ask God for forgiveness. And then you pray for them, for the heavenly angels to protect them so they can start their new journey in life, right? Because you freed them from the bondage they had. So yeah, according to Cobb, I'm just joking around. I'm joking around because you come in here At least I'm joking around. You're coming here disrespecting me and my guest. Trying to disrespect me and my family. My guests. So that's why I did that joke about the corn on the cob. And I'm doing it in your time frame when you're doing what you do. It's almost going to be 3 in the morning. So yeah, there's a lot of things everywhere. We see it. They say that Babylon used to be that way at one point in time. Sodom and Gomorrah used to be that way, right? So what is that saying? That there's a lot of places right now that there's a modern day Babylon and modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, in which we know in the past what happened to those locations, right? So don't be surprised if certain things start happening dealing with Mother Nature. There's certain areas, certain things are going to happen. That's when you're going to know that there's a higher power working. And it's nothing dealing with the ozone layer or nothing like that. When the gates of heaven open, that's when he's in charge of everything. So he uses what he's in charge of to handle certain situations, certain locations where they're going against them spiritually. Oh, it's been started. For those that haven't been paying attention, tornadoes. I mean, sharks going all the way up to the land now, attacking people, like literally to the seashore, attacking people. It's like okay, you want to go against me? Sharks are literally going almost onto the sand, attacking people. You know, to to the shore. You got wildfires. You had the flooding, I believe, in New Mexico or Arizona. They have fires there too. They have fires and flooding happening at the same time. A lot of things are happening that's being shown. We had a massive tornado pass through here, and it just did a lot of damage to one side of a temple area. Like a lot of business got damaged, and houses, trees got torn off from the roots. So yeah, he's showing his presence. For these people that could do acts against God. They're like try to say, well, if he's about love, why is he doing that? Well, yeah, he's about love. He gave certain commandments to follow. If you're not abiding by those commandments and you're trying to take him out of the picture, out of the equation, well, he's just showing us that he's still here, he's still around. You know, I have a picture I'm going to share of me after they try to take me out of the hospital. This picture that I have is one of those pictures that is going to leave you with a question mark, and a question mark that you're like, what in the? It's kind of like I'm here, but I'm not here. So you can see me in the picture, but then you can see right through me in the picture. Like literally, you could see right through me in the picture. And I'm gonna make a short reel so you can see. It's when they try to take me out at the King Daughters Hospital. I want to say to people that I got blessed to be here. Well, I got that picture to prove up my story even more, because in that the picture you could see right through me. You could see like I'm here in spirit form. I'm still here, but in spirit form. I'll share it. I'm going to do a short reel of it with different filters so you can see what I'm talking about. I do believe in the Heavenly Father. I do believe in Jesus Christ. Maintaining love foundation is very important, brothers, sisters. Can't go to sleep mad. Then you're gonna have some bad nightmares. Yeah, that's a spiritual opening. Forgive daily. If there's an argument, make peace that day. Because all those things are spiritual openings. And that's how demons work. They want chaos and division. Chaos and division, that's what they like. And we've been seeing a lot of chaos and division throughout the years, right? A lot of chaos, and that's what they feed on. So people might be thinking that they're fighting for a cause, but when you use anger and hatred and do violent things, well, then you're really doing works for those unseen forces that they're going to use those people as vessels, and they can take them out at any given time because, in all honesty, they dislike mankind. This TDN that I speak of, disembodied demonic Nephilim, which are demons that were created from the Washers, the offspring of the Washers. They were just when they were the Nephilim, they were destroying all of mankind, all of God's creations. So if you don't think that they'll destroy somebody if there's an opening, they will. Doesn't matter what cause they're fighting for. If they have hatred and anger, they'll destroy that vessel. They'll destroy that person just to collect a soul. But one less person to make it into the kingdom of heaven. Uh, and I wish I could talk to I know the media wouldn't let me talk about this. They'll probably try to make fun of me or something. But I'm speaking in spiritual truth. The media to me, is all staged for fear mongering and for other purposes uh, that is not good. That's why I don't really watch the media. And I created the site here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters and on YouTube. I used to have Positive Spiritualists, which that group stopped growing on Facebook because it started getting targeted. Then I created Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, which I still got on Facebook, and Spiritual Encrypted Encounters here on YouTube for the Night Owls. This was when I've fought the most in Elms Grove and all throughout my life. It's a nighttime, so I stay awake. You could say to protect my household, and when I do get some rest, it's during the day or early in the morning. Yeah, imagine if everybody around you is angry, and as they're fighting against other people that are angry, then the unseen comes and starts taking out the people that are fighting and angry, because the people that have the love foundation are being protected, right? Because we're maintaining love foundation. But eventually, we're going to have to fight spiritually against the people that are coming up against us. And we have to be prepared also to fight physically with the love foundation because we got to protect the vessel. But when we fight, it will be through a love foundation. That's how we're going to overcome the enemy, is through Jesus Christ. Through Jesus Christ. I was in a fight one time. I was weighing like 155 pounds. I had already been like in 40 Badico fights. So I was undefeated. And they brought this guy that I would see bench like 700 pounds, 600, 700 pounds at the gym. This guy was big, like 6'9", probably weighed like over 300 pounds, nothing but muscle. He looked at me. He said, "Oh, this is a guy that's messing with my people." He was an African American. I wasn't saying nothing to him. He was just looking at me, and he said, "You know what I'm gonna do to your boy?" So I'm going to grab you. When I grab you, I'm going to break your back, and I'm going to leave you paralyzed for the rest of your life. And he started laughing. Because he's seen a skinny guy weighing 165 pounds. So what he didn't know is that I was trained, knew how to box, and I knew martial arts. What didn't know was that Jesus Christ was with me. So when we did battle, I still maintain my love foundation, but I got the strength of Hercules and the speed of a leopard or cheetah because I was moving fast. Every time he took a swing, he missed, and I would hit him in the back of his head like a slap. I was making him waste all his energy. He was throwing power punch after power punch after power punch. And I just hit him one time with my phalange right here. Now I turn with the immovable objects. And I cut the circulation to his brain and he fell to the ground. And that was the end of that battle. But I just hit him enough to contain him. I mean, he was way bigger than me, you know? So yeah, you can't. How should I say? Can't anger too much because there's other forces that are around us just waiting to attack. North. You got the north, the south, the east, and the west. They're just waiting for you to mess up. They're waiting for you to make an error. So you make that error, and they try to attack you spiritually. So imagine that we're fighting people here that come up against the negative way in the flesh, and then you got the unseen forces waiting to attack also. So we have to protect the flesh and the spirit, brothers and sisters. How? With the love foundation through Jesus Christ. Well, it's not that we're too kind to evil people. It's that we have to. It's like this. The Heavenly Father considers every one of us his children. We're children of God, even those that are on the bad road. So it's up to those that he gives the abilities to be able to get people on the right path through the love foundation. So even the people that think that they're evil or wicked or they're dabbling in other things, they're just being deceived. So it's our job to make them awaken spiritually to get them on the right path. So that's why it's important to even to pray for our enemies because they're regular people like me and you. Just sometimes you don't know what kind of spiritual openings they might have that they're being bonded, but they're being used in a negative way. Well, I think the hate that you have too much hate within you is not that you can kill somebody. Is the hate that you have too much hate within you, then you can kill yourself because, like I said, there's unseen forces that are around. You're just waiting to collect the soul. So if you're wishing hate upon somebody that's being protected by 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 the Heavenly Father through Jesus Christ, and you're wishing bad towards them, that the what you're wishing towards individuals is going to go back to you, and this can happen to you through spiritual law of the seven times fold. That's why I make these videos here late at night so people can understand what I'm talking about. Trust me, I faced many witches and warlocks all throughout my life. I've, I faced the demons and what the people see. I've faced them and I've fought spiritually, and I'm still here. No, it's been fighting like this all my life that it's like I'm used to it. So I just continue to fight spiritually, and I try to continue to help out people that I can. You know, I'd rather tell you the truth than tell you a lie. The demons, they're about lies. They're about they deceive you. Like I say, they tell people, okay, we'll make this deal. We're going to give you this kind of power. You're going to have power. They're going to be able to move objects. So it could be a cup of water here, and you think go up in the air, goes up in the air and comes down. And you're like, whoa, I got the power to move stuff. But what it actually moving the stuff, since it's unseen, it's the demons that are deceiving you, thinking that you have some power. But it's them. When you see flying dishes or flying piece of glass and stuff like that, it's their capability. So you're thinking you're moving something, it's not really you. That's where the deceit comes. Because in all honesty, you have more power than what the fallen has through Jesus Christ, through the spiritual gift of discernment. More power than just moving an object. But you see, that's what they do. You're welcome, confused driftwood. Amen. He is king. That's why I do the spiritual works. I've been doing it before even I came out on Terror in the Woods season 3 episode 2 with my sister. I was already doing spiritual. I've been doing spiritual works all my life. I've been helping people since I was a kid, all the way up to now. There's the works that I do. I've been doing it, uh, assisting people that are being spiritually attacked, or go to homes where there's an unclean spirit messing with the children and stuff like that. I go and get the unclean spirit out of the home. Protect the children. There's the works that I do. I keep a lot of people in prayer because there is a lot of evil people in this world that are crossing across the border, that they believe in other things. Uh, just like there's evil people here in the United States that they want them to continue to cross the children so they could take advantage of the children. A lot of pedophiles, and there's a lot of other cults, and they sacrifice the children. Those are wicked people. I don't know when people are going to start awakening. If you don't pay attention to all the BS of the agendas that people are trying to fight for. You ignore that because some of these agendas are already sick. You ignore that and really pay attention to what's happening around, then you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from. We are at a spiritual warfare. It's kind of like don't let the enemy trick you to make you think that what their cause is a good thing. Read the Bible, look at the commandments. That's all I'm saying. It's been happening for a long time already. Since I was a kid, kids disappearing all along the border for a very long time. Some of it had to do with witchcraft. Then a lot of it has to do with our government. A lot of wicked people that believe in other things through witchcraft and necromancy. Moloch, the Clintons were into Moloch. Obama and his guy friend Michael. All those people are wicked people. People that are in Hollywood, there's a lot of wicked people. The only thing we can do is continue to believe in the Heavenly Father through Love Foundation and protect our next of kin. And that's why I do these videos. I tell my son, if something ever happens to me, son, At least you can go to YouTube and you can hear me speak. And I'm going to share leave all my wisdom and knowledge there for you. Good night, Renee. Yeah, but in saying that, I know everybody's getting tired. Everybody's dropping off. I don't know who's here. It's 3:19. I can still continue to talk, but there a certain topic or a certain question anybody wants me to answer. If you have a question or you're having an experience of something that you might not understand, spiritual experience, supernatural, leave me a comment right now and I'll answer, give you the best advice I can give you. This the works that I do. I've been doing it before I was in the military, since I was a kid. That's why I have the picture of me, the little boy that's here on the picture. It's me when I was a kid. I got scratched right here by by something. I don't know what scratched me. Just maintain your love foundation. Uh, it's not it's what you're seeing or witnessing. It's a gift. Don't be afraid of your gift, but at the same time, understand that this gift that is being shown to you is because you're worthy of having this gift. Know that it's coming from Jesus Christ. It's part of the spiritual gift of discernment. It's used to you. Just remember this: any gift without a love foundation is meaningless. But with a love foundation, it means something. The reason I say that is because when you have a love foundation, like I said before, you're forgiven. There's nothing, no openings that the unseen forces can use against you. The other way, if you're not doing a love foundation, the openings are there to be deceived and they can attack you. That's the difference. You're given the gift for a reason. I said, like I said, if you have a love foundation and you're forgiven, then the enemy, the enemy has no openings to attack you. But if you have these gifts and you're not doing it with a love foundation, then the openings are there for you to get attacked because you're not doing it off a love foundation. Which yeah, you're able to see things and hear things. But if you have hatred in your heart, and you're not doing the love foundation, you can be deceived by the enemy. That's why it's important for you to maintain a love foundation, and you'll see the difference big time. You're welcome, Cynthia. Uh, the DDN can only attack if you have a spiritual opening. If you're not living on the right path, living in sin, uh, you have anger, hatred, you have fear, you're believing in other things, because it can, like I said, it can manifest into anything. So you're believing you're seeing a fairy, a elf, a werewolf, a dogman, a shapeshifter, skinwalker, Bigfoot, but it's really a demon or a UFO, alien, but it's really a demon and you're believing of what you're seeing. Well, that's a spiritual opening. It's kind of like it's already got the opening to attack you spiritually. Sometimes it might not mess with you. It already got you where it wants you, but it's when you try to break free from that and you're listening. Like for example, to me, what I'm telling you, they might try to come at you, but that's when you have to be stronger because you already know what to do. And you tie bound and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name, but send it away. They don't want you to hear what I'm saying, but you've already heard what I said. We prayed here in this live feed, and now you know. And you'll see a change when you do the work through the Love Foundation. And the Heavenly Father is going to show you things through your dreams. Sometimes, it'll get you prepared ahead of time when you're going to cross paths with somebody. He might show you something, an image of somebody, then you cross paths with what he was showing you, and is there when they cross paths with you, it's for a reason. Sometimes it's for you to help, and sometimes it might show you somebody that might be your spiritual enemy that's going to try to come up against you. So that's when you fight spiritually through a Love Foundation. That's right, Cynthia. Yeah, the only thing you can do is be spiritual ready with a Love Foundation, and so long you maintain your Love Foundation, doesn't matter how they come at you. Just gonna like I was joking around with the corner of the cop guy. Doesn't matter what negative things they say at you, or doesn't matter what they're trying to do through witchcraft or necromancy. So long you maintain your Love Foundation, you're deflecting all that because you're on the right path. So everything that anybody tries to do in that form is going to go right back to them, right? And that's what happens. I've seen many people come and go out of this world because they came at me in a negative way that they wished death upon me, and they're not here no more. But because the Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, he takes care of our enemies. Me, I know that He exists and He's watching over me. Uh, I even give people warnings. Hey, don't try to do this or that because that's what something normally happens. It's part of the balance. Hopefully, if somebody's here listening, you'll be able to see that the power of Jesus Christ is a lot greater than anything that the tricksters try to do, to promise you, or they try to promise you. You will see that the power uh, of Jesus Christ through the spiritual gift of discernment is a lot stronger. Yeah, it's just a manifestation. If anybody sees any cryptid or anything that I just mentioned, or whatever you can think of, put it to the spiritual test. When you see it, say, I take authority over you, or you could say straight to the point, I tie, bind, and rebuke you in Jesus Christ's name. If it disappears and there's a puff of white smoke and it smells like sulfur, you already know it's coming from it's demonic. Or if it just vanishes without smoke but leaves a pestilent smell, it's still demonic. Something that's real flesh and blood is not going to disappear like that. It's not going to disappear like that. But I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's live feed. I'm trying to go at it till like 4 in the morning. If anybody got any more questions, you're more than welcome to ask me. I'm proving the point that Jesus Christ is always with us. That's why I go live at nighttime. I know other people practice other things between this time frame, but I'm here speaking about Jesus Christ. I've seen it in physical form, but they run away. The reason they run away, some of them run away because they know that all I have to do is type on a Rick and Jesus Christ name and they're going to disappear. I run into many of them, but I know that they're demonic in nature. It's when they were showing me their manifestation, and I got a little slight thing of belief that maybe that they are real. That's when they stopped showing themselves to me. Then they started attacking spiritually because I left a little opening. I mean, thinking in my mind that they were maybe real. That's when I started fighting spiritually in Elms Grove because they came at me. Just imagine this: it's daylight. You're walking. You hear somebody running behind you. As you're fixing to turn, you feel a blow in the back of your back, and you fly 4 or 5 feet, tumble and roll. Get up with your guards up. There's nobody there because it gave it a little bit of a belief factor that they were real. That's when I knew that they were demonic. So I started fighting them spiritually, tie binding, rebuking them in Jesus' name. I believe it's because the balance. There's people that are up here right now between 3 and 4 in the morning that they got their little purple rugs, pillows, their little symbol on there, and they got their little altar, burning red, black candles, and they're worshiping other things right now at this time frame between 3 and 4 in the morning, because some of these people were already made deals, right? They done sold their souls, and at this time frame, that's when they're trying to wish bad things to people. That's what their job is now. So they may deal, and there's a soul collector coming from when the deal finishes. So their mission here on Earth is to do wicked things, evil people, wicked things. So you could say they done kind of screwed themselves, but technically they can still change their ways by repenting for their sins and asking God for forgiveness. That's the only way they can be saved. Yeah, brujeria, santeria, uh, uh, yeah, all that. Spiritually, nightmares. You can, I would say, bless your home or her room. So you can bless the whole house. Place spiritual heavenly crosses on the windows and doorways. Do a cleansing of the house. If there's any unclean spirits there, to leave. I would suggest uh, black tourmaline keeps negative energies away, and selenite. I keep this around my neck. But of course, the ultimate protector, Jesus Christ. But is you could always have extra protection with you. For those who have sleep paralysis, night terrors, or even sleepwalking, listen to me. Black tourmaline and keep selenite with you. The selenite will bring your guardian angels and your angels to protect you. The black tourmaline will keep negative energies away. Good night, Rock and Rory. Love, light, and blessings to you also. Well, you can save them, but they have to make the step uh, of having a real relation because you can't lie to you can't lie to God or to Jesus Christ. And it goes by your works. If, for example, a boy that comes trolls me all the time, and they're causing all kinds of chaos and havoc to a lot of people, and they're drilling negativity. He's not going to be able to go tell at the time of judgment to Jesus Christ, "I know who you are." He's going to look at him and say, "Who are you?" So I believe in you. So who are you? He's not going to go here because of the works that he's done is more negative than positive, right? So it goes by. You can't cheat your way into the kingdom of heaven. You have to do the works. I'm just being honest. And if you think that you're gonna do negative things all your life and wait till you're in your deathbed and you say, "God, I'm asking for forgiveness, I repent for your sin, I repent for my sins," that you can do that, and if you really meant it. But like I said, it goes by your actions, and you still got to be judged for what you've done here on earth. So it's never too late. According to Cobb and your crew, the people that come here told me it's never too late to change your ways. I'm just letting you know. It's just the truth. I think the other night I was talking about where there was a dark witch. My mom and my dad used to be in a prayer group for the Catholic Church, and they said that the devil was at this reborn Christian witch, right? Reborn. That it was at her house because it was there to collect her soul. So, in the Spanish loteria, devil is like it's all red and it's got like little horns and a hoof, got hooves and it's got the little pitchfork. So I hide in the station wagon, and they will go and they're traveling, and then they park the station wagon. I guess where they reach the destination where these things were happening, and they're part of a prayer group. So my mom seen me in the back hiding underneath the blanket, and she told me, "You better." She got on to me and says, "I'm going to take care of you when we get home. Uh, so you better stay here in the vehicle." So I seen a lot of cars parked there. Parked. There's a top of the road. There's a fence, and then you can see a light up there. It's already nighttime. So I got off the vehicle and I'm looking from a distance. I'm like, I think I was like I'm fifth grade, and I'm looking. So I get closer, and I'm looking. I get a little bit closer and closer and closer. So I see the street and the fence, the house, and all the people that are holding hands, right? They're holding hands and they're praying. And I'm looking and I hear like a loud voice. This loud voice is saying, "Her soul belongs to me. I have, you said this, her soul belongs to me." They said it was Satan, right? So I'm trying to figure out where this voice is coming from. So I start walking across the street, get near the gate, and when I try to open the gate, and I looked on top of the tree was a big old like yellow albino snake, yeah, like yellowish, wrapped around the tree. It was huge. I mean, massive, and it had red eyes, and that's where the voice was coming from. When they talk about the serpent in the Garden of Eve, well, it was saying it was Lucifer. It was a giant snake talking to the people in the prayer group. He looked at me, and I looked at it, and it just disappeared. When it disappeared, all the people were in the prayer group. They said that we defeated the devil and all this stuff. So I went home and all that. And then like a week or 2 weeks later, the lady died. Well, I think a lot of these preachers that you're talking about, the difference between him, them, and me. So a lot of these preachers, they're about the tithe. Me, I'm not about no money. To me, it's about doing the spiritual works. I'm a humble person, and I do truly have faith and believe in Jesus Christ. I don't go crazy on somebody. I've helped a lot of people spiritually. I believe that's why that whatever it was, it was Lucifer. At the time, yeah, I was young, but I've always had Jesus Christ with me. So it left. It disappeared. It was purple. It was like a white smoke, and it smelled like sulfur. But it was a massive snake. I mean, I've never seen a huge snake like this. It was massive, wrapped around the tree, and it was there to collect the soul of that lady. I'm just saying to those that are into wicked things and are doing evil works. When is that time for that soul collector to come? You done made a deal, and it's gonna come for you. I'm just being honest. When is this? I was uh 10 years old, and of course, people get pissed off because I'm here preaching about Jesus Christ in their time frame when they're trying to do evil deeds. So at this time, we're going to pray against what they're trying to do. Heavenly Father, at this time, I would like to pray against any witchcraft or necromancy that are people are trying to wish upon anybody, about upon people, any of my brothers and sisters. We tie, bind, and rebuke the witchcraft or necromancy or any unseen forces that are sent to harm our brothers and sisters. We tie, bind, and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. This we pray in your name, Heavenly Father. Amen. Yes, power prayer works. Yeah, me and I'm not about that, man. I just like doing the works. This is the Heavenly Father has blessed me numerous times to be alive, and that's why I do the works. I'm just being obedient. You're welcome, Sister Cynthia. You're very welcome. I've had people within my how should I say, my bloodline that they were on the wrong path, that were dabbling in things, and I could see the error of their ways, but I knew that there was wrong, and I still maintain my love foundation. I seen members of my bloodline before me, from the generation before me, that they were dabbling in dark arts and stuff like that. That one of them was in my bloodline. So my grandmother. One time, she would make me read the Bible to her in Spanish, and it got to a part in the Bible where it's talking about that everybody can be saved. And she looked at me and she said, "Even I can be saved." And she started laughing, right? So, well, yes, even you can be saved. So it says right here that all you have to do is repent for your sins and ask God for forgiveness. But you have to do it in true faith and true belief in Him, or else it's not going to work. And she just stayed looking at me kind of weird. And I was just speaking the truth to her. Can't lie to God. He knows what's in your heart. But like I said, it's a personal choice what somebody chooses, right? And I've seen the works. I was around her enough to know that she's done some wrong to some people. So, like I said, it goes by the works that you do. And when it's that time of judgment, we're going to be judged by our actions here on this earth. I'm just saying, uh, and trust me when I say this, those people that done sold their souls, there's a soul collector that comes for them. There's a certain time frame when their time is up. You'll come and collect their soul. You'll come for them. Could be in the form of a man with hooves, but he'll come. It's kind of like a it's kind of like a broker, or a banker. He'll come. He'll come when it's that time for them. That the time here on Earth is over. He'll come for them. Deal's a deal. So what do witches do, or warlocks, when they want to buy more time? That's why I tell y'all that forgiveness and maternal foundation is important. They try to send. If they want to buy more time here on Earth, they want to. They'll send it. That collector. They'll send it to a family member within their bloodline. That's how generational curses happen. When somebody's dabbling in it and they've made a deal of some sort, that's what we have to forgive. And we make our spiritual stance. And we say we're not a part of that. We want to be with Jesus Christ. We tie bind and rebuke that. And you move on forward, right? Through Jesus Christ. It'll break a generational curse. Well, you can tie bind and rebuke that, Sister Angel. Forgiver, and maintain your love foundation, and you make the spiritual stance like I've been telling you, and you cut the generational curse. Oh yeah, I'm giving you the wisdom and knowledge how to do it here, brother and sisters. It's really not no steps. It's what you have in your heart. Your love foundation, your relationship with Jesus Christ. He's our protector, so we're gonna be protected through him. And whatever somebody else did in the past, well, they're gonna be judged for that pertains to them. I hope y'all enjoyed my sister here on the show. For those who are still here, I see we got 38 likes, and 26 viewers. I'm trying to stay here till 4. Once that 4 hits, it's 3:48 here. That's when I want to probably finish the live. Thank you, Sister Cynthia. Just remember, These dark witches, they're not by themselves. They have their sister. They call it the sisterhood, which is the other witches that are under them. So it's kind of like even they think they have something over you because they know what they do and stuff like that, and they're all together in cahoots. That's why it's important to maintain your love foundation. If somebody tells you, "I want to introduce you to my sister," and it's not really their sister, and they're not saying my sister in Christ, then what are they really saying? Think about that. I had a guy tell me one time, "I'm going to introduce you to my brothers." So I get surrounded by like 10 different guys. And then I look at them and say, did your brother, your carnal told you what I did for him? They're listening to me. I said, I backed him out last week. He was going to get beat up by two guys. And I gave him la esquina, I gave him la pala. I backed him up. I said, and I just don't understand why, after I backed him up because of a female, that now he's trying to get y'all to come up against me. And then they asked him, he said, "Is that true?" And he said, "Yeah, that's true." And then just turn around and all walk away. There was like, I think like 8 guys around me that walked away. And then I looked at them. I said, "Okay, so how we're going to take care of this?" Said, "Since you brought people and they don't got your back now just me and you. How we're going to handle this?" "Oh, no, 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 just leave it alone and this and that." And you walked away from me, you know. Just remember, that's what the balance is about. Stipulations, and there's certain ways, certain things you can do to get out of certain situations. That's all I'm saying. Part of the balance. Hmm. It's part of the balance, spiritual balance. A lot of things that I'm talking about, it was happening in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and it's still happening right now. It's just, there's so many things set up in this world for entertainment, to go on vacations, that people are too busy, and they're set up like that intentionally. They're set up intentionally so people can just be busy and busy and busy and not really pay attention to what's really going on in this world spiritually. All that is just a distraction. It's like this. If it was that time when it was going to be the end of the world, where would you be? Where would you want to be? Would you want to be on a plane? Would you want to be on a vacation? Would you want to be what? Uh, like Fiesta Texas, Six Flags, or would you rather be around your loved ones? Just a question. See what time we got. I'm almost fixing to call it a night here, brothers and sisters. I just want to say thank you for those that tuned into here tonight, and for listening to my sister, what she had to say. Uh, like I said, she's normally asleep at night, but she made it happen here for people that were trying to request her. I know you've seen her and you've seen me on Terror in the Woods season 3, episode 2. I want to thank to everybody interacting with me here tonight. I'm looking at the comments and I tried to give you some my feedback to what you're saying to me. Corn the cob. It's never too late to change your ways, man, or to anybody that's affiliated with you, like Dana Ortega. It's never too late to change your ways. There you go. With your family, animal friends. That's where I would want to be with my loved ones instead of being caught up like in a concert or, you know, somewhere that I ain't supposed to be. You have a good evening there, Angel, Neva's Angels, Heaven's Angel, Cynthia. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I'm here, people requesting my sister and I brought my sister and then Corn the Cob comes in here and just starts disrespecting. I don't go to his lives and disrespect him, jumping in his lives and trying to act up in his lives. I don't do that, you know. I'm a Tim Love Foundation. Right over Bill Motto. You have a nice evening. In saying that, I'm going to bid farewells. I'm trying to wait till I got 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. And I'm going to call it a night. Once it hits 4, I'm out. Thank you for moderating tonight, brother Rebuilt. Think you might have been my last line of defense here as a moderator. You have a good night. And saying that, brothers, sisters, like I said, I wanted to be here till got 4 more minutes. We'll see what happens. How if I'm gonna grow this channel more than what it is. I think I got a pretty good layout here. I like speaking in this way. Make it more. How should I say? Real. Instead of having all kinds of lighting and stuff like that. And banners and all this. I rather have it this way. More down to earth, humble. You know. Good night, Image. I'm really. I've seen something like that, but I've never seen what was underneath the mask. It was I believe it was a native. Uh, could have been a DDN because it looked like a giant, probably like 15 foot high, and he had a mask, like a demon mask, and it was colored red. But you could see that it was native because he had feathers and everything on his head, and he had the things that looked native. Possibly Skinwalker shapeshifter, but it was real big, and he had the ability to. He caused some havoc. He tried to attack me. I was gagging because it smelled like pestilence. And he started trying to attack everybody that was in the vehicle. So I pull over to arrest her and we start fighting, fighting the unseen force that was there. You know, my sister was being spiritually attacked by it. And I prayed for her. And then my girlfriend at the time, she started getting attacked too. So I started praying for her. And after that, it's like they became normal. They don't know what happened to them. So was able to continue to drive to make it home safely. But I've witnessed something like that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of things. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm more sure about we'll go to other locations like where they have pyramids. I'll see the things that are there that there were once there before. Uh, Spiritual gifts of discernment. You're able to see the things that are in spirit around you. Yeah, it's a normal for me. I've been fighting, like I said, spiritually. I seen them in the front lines when I was in the battle of Medina Ridge when they were like the Degen, or you call want to call them Diddy in the front lines. They were doing that. They were running chaos and havoc, and they were eliminating people because their only mission and they only care about is collecting souls. I mean, that's how dirty they are. Those people with white flags, which means surrender. Everybody's holding the white flag, and then the Gen jumps into the person wearing the white flag, and his demeanor changes, and you can see like yellowish eyes, and he gives a smile, and he drops the flag out of his hand because it's got the person possessed. He picks up a weapon and points to kill that person, and the Gen jumps out, go to the next, and on to the next, and on to the next, collecting souls. That's why it's important to be on the right path, brothers and sisters, and always maintain love foundation. But in saying that, I think I've hit the 4 o'clock marker, like I said. Thank you, brother Overbuilt Automotive, and all the moderators that are here tonight for keeping this lobby clean. I hope you enjoyed. For those that didn't wasn't here to see the beginning, I have my sister as a special guest tonight, and you can always watch the replay. Thank you all for tuning in. God bless every single one of y'all, your families. Love, light, and blessings. And everybody have a beautiful, blessed night. Peace out, everybody, from Spiritual Encrypted Encounters.